3 of this 4-game series between the Houston Astros and the LA Angels is just moments away. The Astros look to snap a 5-game skid as they send Scott Feldman to the mound to oppose lefty Hector Santiago. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you, and it's Game 3 of the series. The Astros have had a tough time, 0-2, but boy, have they gotten something out of Kike Hernandez, who's now hitting a cool 500 in the big leagues, and that defensive side of the game has been amazing.
He's done it all. We saw him in left field the first game of this series. He's DH back home, played a little bit of second base, but doing it at shortstop, making those great plays, turn a great double play, but the bat has come alive, like you said, Ash. He's been on base, getting hits 50% of the time, but that play right there for me, the double play on C.J. Cron with 2 runners on base in the middle of that ball game to maintain that lead for the Houston Astros was huge, and he's doing it all at the plate also.
Yeah, the guy's been amazing. The Astros had a chance to pick one last night, led 6-3, went to the 9th inning 6-6, and then a guy named Mike Trout came to the plate.
Yeah, big-time impact player, you know, player of the month of June for the American League, and this guy's been putting up big numbers. There you see it, the second career walk-up. The interesting thing about that pitch last night, you think that's a good pitch down in the zone to a guy like Mike Trout? It's not. 7 of his 19, now 20 home runs have been hit below his knees.
Coming up, Scott Feldman takes the mound to try and stop the Astros' 5-game losing streak. The Astros take on the Halos right after this, so don't go away. Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT. Mobilizing your world. We are at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. They've had some great crowds out here. And why not? The Angels playing terrific baseball, especially at home. They've won 14 of their last 15 now. The Angels, a hot ball club. So we're just about getting ready for first pitch, but a great time to check in with Julia, who's got something going on.
Hey, Ash, yeah, we want to wish Bo Porter, the Astros skipper, a very happy birthday, turning 42 years old today. And the youngest skipper in the majors right now. But it's not a birthday without cake. So I presented him with one earlier today.
So,
speaking of birthdays.
Oh, my! Look at here!
Like you didn't even know I was
Wow!
standing here. Happy birthday!
Look at that!
Yay.
That is so wonderful.
I didn't want to put 42 candles on it.
Thank you so much.
But happy birthday.
I really appreciate that. That is so awesome. Are you guys going to eat all this?
I'm returning the favor, guys. You remember he got me a birthday cake on my birthday in early April. Such a nice thing for him to do. But Bo Porter wants a win tonight for his birthday, if you can believe that.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Yeah, that's fun, and I'll bet you enjoyed the birthday cake as much as Bo did down in the dugout. So happy birthday to Bo Porter. Jesse Crane also with this same birthday. Now let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup, brought to you by Jack in the Box. That lineup for Houston, Jose Altuve in the top spot. He's at second. Doing the catching, Jason Castro, and in center field, George Springer, who slammed a home run in yesterday's game. Middle three, Matt Dominguez at third. The DH is Chris Carter, John Singleton at first. And the bottom three, Kike Hernandez at short and right, Domingo Santana, and in left field once again, LJ Hose, and we are set for that first pitch of the ball game.
Get a quick look at Hector Santiago. Fastball, changeup, cutter, slider, and guess what? He's got a screwball.
We got a Scroogey mixed in, huh?
Yeah.
Hector Santiago 0-7 on the year with a 4.08 ERA.
Yeah, I was reading the same thing. I'm looking through the scouting report. It says he's got a good fastball. Could throw it about 95 miles an hour when he wants to. Good changeup, but lo and behold, he's got a screwball. Doesn't throw it a lot.
Also has a crossfire delivery that they say he is tamed down a little bit. It used to be a little more severe and stepping a bit more toward the plate, but still crossfiring. Again, 0-7 on the year. Pitched well his last time out. His last start went 4 innings at Kansas City. He had a 2-0 lead as he was shutting out the Royals, but the rains came, and that did in his night. So he failed once again in a bid to win his first game of the year. Falls behind immediately 3-0 on Altuve, and Jose, who had a long night last night, has the count at 3-1. Altuve, in fact, an 0-7 riding right now. So it has not been his kind of series to this point, and he draws the leadoff walk.
Check out the defense behind Hector Santiago for the Anaheim Angels. Around the outfield, Josh Hamilton, Mike Trout, Cole Calhoun in right field. John McDonald making his 6th start at third base for the Angels. Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, Albert Pujols, and Hank Conger working with Hector Santiago.
Brings up Jason Castro. Altuve, by the way, that long night I mentioned last night, 0-5 with a strikeout. So Altuve comes in tonight still leading the league in numerous categories, including batting average at .342. He leads in stolen bases. He's at first as Castro takes a strike. For Jason Castro, the batting average at .220. 7 bombs on his year. He's driven in 33. Little toss over to first base as Altuve's back in there.
Let's hope he's got a better move than that. That was just a little courtesy toss.
A lot of left-handers really don't have much of a move. They rely on the fact that they're looking right at the base runner. So we'll see if Altuve can take advantage. Altuve has stolen 37 in 40 tries. Bit of a heartbreaker last night with Mike Trout stealing the show even from the fireworks, because he got the fireworks started with that home run in the 9th inning. And they did put on quite a show with the fireworks following the game. Another good crowd on hand here this evening. Castro sees the count at 0-2. Jason Castro among the leaders in strikeouts this year, 84 of them. Carlos Corporon got the start behind the plate last night for Houston. And that fastball almost gets that belt buckle area.
Oof. It's not good.
Well, start your night in a bad way.
Or end it.
Could do that as well. Lifetime for Castro against Angels pitching. .227 batting average, 3 bombs, and 10 ribbies, all in 21 games. He's had success against the left-hander Santiago, 2 for 5 lifetime. Santiago continues to toss to first base, but that's about all you can say is just a toss in that direction. Very slight breeze blowing out to left field. Just dead still in the ballpark, and it's warm. Castro caught looking outside edge, and another strikeout for Jason, 85 on his year.
Time now for the AT&T Rewind. Take a look back last night off of C.J. Wilson, what George Springer did to a hanging breaking ball, driving it deep to center field and out into the rock pile. And that began the procession of homers for the Houston Astros. 2 more hit after that. Big man with some thump.
Springer's hit safely in his last couple of games. 17 bombs here in the first half for George. Just impressive stuff. Hits one on the ground. Diving stop by Ibar. He'll flip to second for the force. That's all they'll get. Second out of the inning. But a heck of a play by a guy who's played a great shortstop for the Angels. Ibar with the diving play.
Great play, great read. Good job of getting that lead runner. No chance of getting George Springer, who runs well. What a great play by Ibar, keeping another base runner off the base pass.
No, people usually talk about when you've got a guy or multiple runners on base that it's an advantage for the hitter. This is one of those scenarios where with no runner aboard, Springer's got an infield hit. Occasionally it will backfire for you. Now another lob to first base. If anything, Santiago is showing the Astros he doesn't have much of a move.
He's got a couple of pickoffs on the season, but he's trying to pick off the right guy at first base here in Angel Stadium. Springer's had some issues over there at first base when he's gotten on.
This ballpark has kind of had George's number in terms of being a base runner. George Springer starting to steal a few bags, though. He went for a long time with just 1 stolen base, and now Springer is 4 of 6 in that category.
I read an article that Bo Porter was quoted as saying that Springer having that healthy knee. Remember, he missed a couple games earlier when he got called up with some knee soreness. I guess that's gone away, and he's enabling him to steal a little bit more often when he does get on base.
Edges to his lead, and that pitch way outside. Matt Dominguez, 11 homers on his year while hitting .233. Has those spells where he swings the bat quite well. There goes Springer. The pitch, a strike. The throw down not in time. And stolen base number 5 and 7 tries now for Springer.
It's good to see him running a little bit more. We saw 45 stolen bases from George Springer last year between AA and AAA. Now we're getting a chance to see it at the big league level.
Hank Conger, the catcher this evening, has a strong arm, but just too much in terms of a jump and pure speed from Springer.
I think that pitch seemed to handcuff Conger a little bit too.
So Springer now in scoring position. 1-1 the count on Dominguez. Good swing as he fouls it back.
Having seen the speed of George Springer and the obvious pop, I mean, he should be a shoo-in for 2020 every year.
Yeah, that would seem to be the case, and it used to be, and maybe still is, that kind of guy is the 3 hitter and just stays in that spot for a ball club.
Well, Dexter Fowler gets healthy, moves back into that top spot. You move Altuve down to the 2-hole again, and there's your 1-2-3 thump. Singleton, get him going.
Pitch inside on Matty D. Just the first inning, scoreless game. Hector Santiago, originally drafted by the White Sox, a 30th rounder back in 2006. Part of a 3-team deal over the offseason. Wound up here with the Angels. The 3 teams involved: the White Sox, Diamondbacks, and Angels. There goes Springer for third as the pitch is fouled back. So George not content with second. This is the kind of base runner that Jose Altuve is. If he's provided a chance to go, he's going to take it. And you wonder if Springer might become that guy.
Got to be pretty selective when you're stealing a bag with your 4-hole hitter up there. You're already in scoring position at second base. You better be 100% sure.
Pitch is fouled off. When you've got a couple of strikes on a hitter, does it take anything away from that guy? Because he's going to swing anyway on a strike.
Nice play, lefty. Yeah, if you're going to steal, you got to steal early in the count from second base.
Pitch hit on the ground to second. Kendrick is there. He'll make the play on to first base. That'll do it for Houston in the first inning as Albert Pujols fires toward the plate. The Astros fail to score against Santiago. Third game of this 4-game series and the 13th meeting of the year between the two clubs. The Angels have gotten the best of it, 8 of the previous 12. Now that lineup for the Angels this evening: for Mike Scioscia, Cole Calhoun leads off in right field. It's the big star Mike Trout in center, followed by Albert Pujols at first. Middle 3, Josh Hamilton, he's in left. At shortstop, Eric Ibar, he's already made a very nice defensive play. Howie Kendricks at second. In the bottom 3, DH C.J. Cron, Hank Conger doing the catching, and at third base, John McDonald.
Scott Feldman on the mound for the Houston Astros, making his 15th start. Going to that breaking ball a little bit more often these days. He knows it's a good pitch for him. That's why he keeps going back to it, looking to continue what he started against the Detroit Tigers. Pitched well, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, quality start. Last time he faced these Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim here in Anaheim, he took the loss, only going 4 innings, giving up 8 runs and 3 of them earned.
So Feldman misses on that first pitch of the evening. Blummer mentioned the start against the Tigers, a win, 6 innings of work, and it had been a while. He had gone 5 starts with 3 losses and a couple of no decisions since beating the Royals. That on the trip through Kansas City, that was May 26th. So Scott trying to get it back on track. Down on the count, 2-0 on Cole Calhoun. Calhoun hitting .281. Two balls and a strike. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols here in the first inning for the Halos. And again, the Angels playing great baseball. Calhoun takes another strike. It's 2-2. Angels in second place in the tough American League West now. The Oakland A's have gotten stronger. They're already 20 games over 500, leading by 3.5 over these second place Halos. And Seattle 6 back.
How about the Angels' record at home? 28-14.
They've won 14 of their last 15 here at Angel Stadium. 2-2 the count stays.
On the road, 21-22. These are good splits for contending teams.
The Angels have won 8 consecutive games here at Angel Stadium. So no easy feat for the Astros coming in here at this point on the course of the season. Little tapper right side. Feldman unable to make the play, and now no play as Singleton had come off the bag. Just no man's land and an infield single for Cole Calhoun.
Scott Feldman's a big man out there, standing around 6'7", 6'8", lumbering after that one, hoping for it. That puts a first baseman in a real tough spot when you're not sure whether or not that pitcher's going to get that ball, because you've got to back him up in case it gets by him. If he does grab it, you got to quickly shuffle over to first base. Left Altuve in no man's land, tossing it to nobody but Casper.
Casper did not have a glove on, so the Astros fortunate this didn't wind up going in the dugout. Leadoff single Calhoun. He's aboard for Mike Trout. And if you somehow missed it last night, Mike Trout with that game winner in the 9th inning. A 2-strike, 0-2 count home run left center field. And just a rocket hit out of here.
And really didn't do anything up until that point. Only hit on the night. Good grief, that OPS up over 1,000.
Only man in the league with an OPS over 1,000.
And it was interesting. I know when it happened, when he hit that pitch that was down from Tony Sipp on an 0-2 count. At the time I mentioned it was a good pitch down, but he likes that ball down. And last time the Astros came through there, Trout was having issues with strikeouts, but the Astros were actually beating him up in the zone.
And this pitch gets on by to the backstop. So safely into second is Cole Calhoun.
Not quite that area of the zone, but
yeah, that's
up in the strike zone they were beating him.
It's a wild pitch, enabling Calhoun to take second base. Not sure if Castro could have gotten crossed up on this pitch.
Yeah, that was interesting all the way around.
Because that's a catchable pitch, not an ideal pitch, but one that you would think might be catchable. Nobody out for Mike Trout. 1-1 the count. Infield swung well around to the left side. That leaves John Singleton with about a 45-foot sprint to the bag at first. And again, Feldman misses badly up and in. Santiago in the top of the first inning was missing on the arm side with some pitches not even close to the strike zone. Now Feldman doing the same thing here in the bottom of the first. Two and one the count. First base open. Albert Pujols on deck. Breaking ball hit high and deep left center field. Springer back on the track at the wall and makes the catch. Tagging and moving up is Calhoun. And Mike Trout just missing in a bid for number 21.
It's time now for the Geico quote of the day. Here's Tony Sipp last night talking about Mike Trout's walk-off home run.
That's why I say win at him with my best stuff. And, obviously, even if you make a good pitch sometimes, guy of that caliber, we'll put a good, if he put a good swing on it, went down and got it, and, obviously the rest was history.
So And it's fair. I mean, Tony Sipp is saying I went with my best stuff. It just wasn't good enough against a guy who maybe is a bit better.
Well, and I saw an interesting stat.
Line shot into right field by Albert Pujols. He's hot with the bat. The Angels jump on top 1-0. And just one out for Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, but getting back to the Mike Trout situation, and I believe Tony Sipp did make a good pitch on a 0-2 count. Granted, if you had to take it back, you'd try and bury it. And we take a look back and see where that pitch was. This is an 0-2 count. You like to waste one right here, but he threw a good slider down. You could see Corcoran going down to block it, but I saw something earlier today on Twitter where they were talking about the home run from Mike Trout that won the ballgame for the Angels. 7 of his 20 home runs are from below the knees. So he likes that ball down.
But he's just a good hitter. And that stat leaves me wondering how many of his home runs have come on pitches above the waist. Now, maybe and likely not that many.
Well, we saw last time we came through Anaheim how effective Astros pitching was when they were pitching him higher in the zone, higher in the strike zone.
Yeah. Well, he's got that swing where he drops the barrel below the hands, and it sets up for a hitter to be good on pitches down.
Really not a typical thought process to see a right-handed hitter hitting the ball well down in the zone. Usually it's typically left-handed hitters that really drive those balls down.
Hamilton takes one up and away, 2 balls and a strike. So the Angels don't take much time to jump on the board here in the first inning against Feldman. Feldman, in the month of June, as the pitch is fouled down the left field side, 2-2 now is the count. But in the month of June, 277 batting average against Scott, but that was much better than his May that saw him leave a 344 batting average for the hitters. So he's had his struggles. And start number 1 for Scott here in July. And now a 3-2 count. We'll see if that leaves Pujols on the move from first. Remember, he stole a base, his 3rd on the year last night. Singleton, the first baseman, playing right in front of Pujols, who has a short lead, does not go. And the pitch hit on the ground. Altuve to his left. He'll get the out at first base and might have had a shot at second. And immediately Altuve looked toward Kike Hernandez and had a little hand gesture as if to say, maybe I didn't grab the ball cleanly.
I think that ball may have handcuffed him a little bit. And of course, Altuve's at second base. Around the outfield, we're going to see L.J. Hose in left, George Springer in center, Domingo Santana in right field. Across the infield with Altuve is going to be Matt Dominguez at third base. Kike Hernandez making another appearance at shortstop after that great night last night defensively and offensively. John Singleton with a big home run last night back at first, and Jason Castro doing the catching.
Brings the shortstop to the plate, Eric Ibar. And a lot of folks out here in Southern California pushing for Ibar to make the All-Star team this year. He's been very good, lead shortstops in the league in terms of RBIs. 42 big ribbies. Not a big guy, but hitting .273 and plays a solid shortstop.
He's also scored 42 runs.
Turns to bunt and bunts through it. 0-1 the count.
So you're telling me the RBI leader for shortstops is going to square around with 2 outs and a man at second base?
Does seem a bit odd. On teams that I played on, that was never a favorable move. It's not going to plate a run if he comes up with a hit, so another hitter has to come to the plate and get himself a knock.
It does extend the inning, and you're going to force the pitcher to maybe throw some more pitches, but you better get that bunt down. If you don't make that out on a bunt with the runner in scoring position, you might have a couple teammates going, hey, man.
Yeah. Ibar 0 for his last 6. Jason Castro with a comment for Scott Feldman. And it would seem probably unlikely that he'd be talking about Albert Pujols and the possibility of a running game.
but he could be picking signs. You got to learn to expect the worst in everybody, Ash.
Oh, I think you get a KG veteran like Pujols at second base, and he'd be the guy I'd first be looking at to see if he might be picking up signs.
Anything to get an advantage in baseball.
Used to be the Cincinnati Reds against the Astros were notorious for trying to steal signs at second. Pitch is fouled on the ground, left side, 1-2 the count.
I just remembered early on when I was with Montreal, we'd go through and play the Canadian series against Toronto, and they would just absolutely annihilate us. And I ended up playing on the same team as Jose Cruz Jr., who was on those teams, beating up on us. And he was like, oh yeah, we had every pitch. Every time we got to second base, we knew exactly what was coming. So I'm glad he explained that years later, just to pour more salt on the wound.
Have you gotten it all out of there?
Yeah, he picked up a couple rounds when we were playing in Tampa together.
Oh, that's good. 2-2 the count. Feldman trying to get out of this first inning, allowing just one run. Ibar drove in 54 last year for the Halos, but that in 138 games, so well ahead of that pace. Lines one to center field. Springer playing toward left center, but quickly gets over and back to make the play. Ibar stings it. That'll do it for the Angels. They get a run on 2 hits and leave a man. It's 1-0. Halos on top.
And the Astros will face off against the Boston Red Sox in a 3-game set July 11th through the 13th at Minute Maid Park. Do not miss Boston's only trip to Minute Maid Park this season. For tickets to that series, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Chris Carter coming up here, having a nice game yesterday, 2 for 4 with a home run, but he's 3 for 8 in this series, just looking a lot better. And I asked him how he's feeling. He was like, well, it's only 3 hits, but they were all on 3 different pitches, a fastball, changeup, slider, so that gives him a little bit of confidence there. But then again, he told me, I've got a lot of work to do looking at my batting average.
Yeah, it's pretty wise talk from Chris Carter. Thanks, Julia. Talking about those Boston Red Sox. Julia's talking about those 38 and 47 fourth place Boston Red Sox from the American League East. You surprised at all by that?
Yes. Defending champs.
Strike on Carter. It's a ball and a strike. 14 bombs on the year, but a 187 batting average for Chris. In that top 10 in the league in strikeouts, and you would anticipate that. There's your American League East, and there are your Red Sox. They have picked up a win today.
Not really out of it with only 7 games back.
No, you're right. Stranger things have happened.
I mean, it seems like the AL East, they're constantly beating up on each other anyways.
When the Astros faced the Rays 2.5 weeks ago or so, the Rays had the worst record in the league. and now they're just 10 games under 500. They have turned things around considerably.
So you can't count them out either at 8.
Do they hang on to David Price?
His teammates are making a bid, scoring 7 runs and getting the win today.
High fastball blown by Carter. Second strikeout now for Santiago, and out number 1 in the second.
Santiago can reach back when he wants. This right here, a 94-mile-an-hour heater.
And I bring up John Singleton. Singleton, a local boy here from Long Beach, California. And with his family and friends in the stands last night, launched a home run, a 3-run job to right field. At the time, it gave the Astros a 6-3 lead and looked awfully good. Where the Angels would battle back, and eventually Mike Trout would win the night. And there's John Singleton with some of the buds. And the buds seem to be Astros fans now.
Better believe it. If they're not, I'm sure John Singleton will take care of that.
Ball and a strike on John. He's had his struggles, hitting just 181. But he's also shown that strength and the great pop in the bat. 5 homers already. Hits one in the air, left field, fairly deep. That'll push Hamilton back to make the play. And out number 2. And it brings up the star of the hour, Kike Hernandez, who had a great night last night. 3 hits, and that was the least of the story. He made a couple of defensive gems for the club and really gave the Astros a shot to be in the ballgame.
Well, huge plays in the first inning, kept runs being put on the board against Dallas Keuchel, who struggled early on. Then that big double play off of C.J. Cron's bat ruined what could have been a big inning for the Angels, too.
Boy, what a play that was. And the play was in the setup. Yeah. You have to be able to make the play with the glove and make the accurate throw, but the way he set up his body to give himself a chance, very special. And by the way, hitting 500 as he stands in, 0-2 the count. You anticipate seeing Kike in the lineup and playing at shortstop for a while?
If he keeps hitting 500, yeah. Drop below that, then we got to start questioning it.
Got to be hard being Marwin Gonzalez right about now.
Well, especially when you leave on the road trip and you send VR back down to AAA to work on things, and they give the job to Margot, and then this kid shows up and lights it up.
And Margot, a couple of home runs in that Seattle series. So, yeah.
Hit a couple of home runs on that homestand, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against Seattle at the end of the series.
It's a bit of a luxury having a guy like Kike around, play him while he's hot. He can move around. Defensively, we saw him in left field the first game of the series here.
Santiago with the 2-2, and it's hammered but fouled down the left side. That's getting the head out pretty good.
You have earned yourself an off-speed pitch here, Kike. That head got started early.
Kike Hernandez 3 for 7 against the Angels here in the series, and then takes that kind of swing. The Angels must be rather impressed with this young player. Maybe the surprise in the series is that Kike Hernandez was held hitless 0 for 3 in game 1 of this series. He was the left fielder, and he made a terrific play in left, and now draws the 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Santiago. Has Hernandez aboard for Domingo Santana, looking for that first major league hit, and quite frankly looking to try to make contact.
Good AB by Kike. I think that bullet he ripped down the line is what kind of planted the seed in Santiago's head, saying I can't just pump a fastball by this kid. Walking a couple guys early is Santiago.
With all the things that Kike Hernandez does very well, stealing bags has not been one of those things to this point in the minor leagues. When you look at the overall numbers for Hernandez, 28 stolen bases, caught 16 times, started his minor league career in 2009.
Good grief, what more do you want from the kid, Ash?
Now, I'm just saying, if you will. 0-2 the count on Santiago. Make that Santana.
You got to hashtag that.
Yep. Yeah, that's one I'm still working on. Julia tried to teach me that last year, but
we got to have that Twitter seminar again.
0-2 the count. 8 strikeouts in 10 major league at bats for Santana. You know, here's another one of the deals on Kike Hernandez. As a minor league hitter, he's a lifetime .274 hitter. But what he's done this year, well over 300 at each stop that he's made. So is he just simply a guy who struggled and now has figured it out?
For the time being. Some of these guys just need opportunities and put in right situations. And
agreed.
I mean, I know a lot of guys that didn't have stellar numbers coming up through the minor leagues, but eventually appear on the show and just, for whatever reason, turn it up a notch.
It clicks at some point.
Yeah.
Down on strike, Santana. That's 9 in 11 major league at bats, and that does it for Houston in the second. 3 strikeouts now for Santiago. It's 1-0. Halos on top.
And remember to tweet your photos using the hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Guys, you've been talking a lot about Kike Hernandez. Great defense last night, keeping runs off the board for Dallas Keuchel. And today, walking into the clubhouse, Chad Qualls asked him, "Are you going to play first base today, Kike? Like, where are you at?" And Kike laughed and said, "No, I'm back at short." I asked Kike, "How do you look so comfortable? You've only been here a few days." And he said at shortstop, he actually came up playing short. So that's where he feels most comfortable. But I'll tell you, he looked pretty comfortable on the outfield the other day, too.
Boy, he looked awfully good. And we had talked about him being more of a second baseman. That was the word that came along with Kike. So that's really intriguing to find out that he feels most comfortable at short. And that's the most demanding of infield positions. You just can't make a mistake there. Ball and a strike. Howie Kendrick leads it off. And now Kendrick in front on the count, 2-1. Kendrick 4 for 4 last night. Had a double and a ribby. And with that 4 for 4 night, raised his batting average 9 points. He's up to 284. Lifetime 344 against Houston. Tries to shoot one down that first base line and just misses. Played in 31 games against Houston. Hit .344, a couple of bombs, 6 doubles, 2 triples. One of those triples earlier this year, driving in a pair. So he's had his way against Astros pitching. Pitch is lined down the right field side. Quickly over to his left to make the play is Santana, and out number 1. In the series, talking about Kike Hernandez, some of the defense we've seen in left field to start it.
That right there was off Albert Pujols' bat with Mike Trout on second base, turned into a double play because he even shocked Mike Trout with it. That catch saved the run, but this is the double play we keep talking about off of C.J. Cron's bat. We thought it was going to be a base hit, another run scored for the Angels, but ends up being an inning-ending double play.
Any doubt as to how Jose Altuve felt about that play?
Pretty fired up. He's probably pretty happy to be playing alongside that guy right now.
It's a great reaction.
Good take.
Curveball in for a strike. C.J. Cron at the plate. He's the DH. Shift on in the infield. 3 infielders on the left side. John Singleton well off that first base bag again. And a 1-1 count.
Yeah, I wonder how Altuve felt when that ball was hit, kind of running over the bag, maybe casually just out of a courtesy, and it ended up where he had to turn that double play. I'm not sure if he was anticipating.
Yeah, you get there kind of in the it's where I'm supposed to be mode, and then all of a sudden here comes the play.
Yeah, and you're like, well, maybe I'll stretch out and try and get the lead runner. Ends up gets a bullet thrown at him, and he's got to turn it.
Angels already with the first 2 hits on the night. The Angels had 16 hits as a club last night. The Astros just 8. And down on strikes is Cron. That's 2 outs here in the second. First strikeout for Scott Feldman.
Earned this breaking ball after that first take. He took on the breaking ball from Feldman. Somewhere there's a book that says throw CJ breaking balls. Feldman's got a good one and put him away.
2 outs, bases empty for Hank Conger, who gets a start, switch hitting catcher. And he's got some serious pop in the bat from this left side of the plate. Conger hitting .238. 3 homers. He's driven in 17. Chris Iannetta, the main catcher for the Angels. Breaking ball a strike, but left up in the zone. And a perfectly placed strike down and away. 1-2 the count. That's one of those tough ones you don't want called on you when you're hitting.
Good catch by Castro, holding his ground right there. Framed that one up nicely.
And down on strikes Conger, so back-to-back strikeouts, a 1-2-3 second. Scott Feldman able to do the job in the second inning, but trails 1-0.
And the Astros 14-game flex plan puts you in charge. You get to pick the games and seat locations that work best for you. Look Looking for the certain days of the week, all the giveaways, your favorite rivalries, or maybe a little of each? You can choose. To purchase, call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Angels lead after a couple of innings of play. LJ Ho's the 9-hitter will start things here in the third. LJ 0 for his last 10. Santiago has struck out 3 through the first couple of innings, and apparently we need some more stickum for the catcher's glove.
My goodness.
Wow.
This guy's throwing hard. Clank.
Well, yeah.
Just knocked that skillet right off his hand.
At receiving school, that's not the way they teach it.
I don't know. The UFC fights are on tonight, but they don't wear boxing gloves.
Every catcher will tell you the ball down and to your left, to the glove side, is the one that eats you alive.
Well, that one had some leather for dinner.
Even if you just reach in the right direction, that's the one that's going to kill you. The one on the backhand side, easy as could be. But yeah, that was not perfectly executed.
Then you got to look in at your manager, who was a Gold Glover behind the plate.
Hey, Skip, you don't know what you're talking about. That was a tough one to catch. I don't know if he can sell that one.
You're taking strikes away from my pitcher. Let's go.
2-2 the count on Hose. The Astros looking for their first hit of the night. They picked up a couple of walks. Little soft liner going to drop in right field. There's the first knock. And LJ Hose breaks an 0 for 10.
Good boy, LJ. We said it had to be pretty. It's a pretty standard swing from LJ, fighting that one off and going the other way. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, and it is brought to you by Icy Cold Miller Lite.
LJ was 0 for 4 in last night's game with a strikeout. So he gets it started. Jose Altuve at the plate. 0 for his last 7. Did draw a walk in the first inning. LJ Hose has not stolen a base this year. And the pitch is strike on Altuve. He's been taking more strikes here recently.
Yeah, he has. I wonder if it has anything to do with him moving up into that leadoff spot. And maybe facing some guys that he doesn't have a storied history against or can anticipate. Trying to get a better read on him.
Swings through this one. It's 0-2.
Just a good fastball in. Hits his spot.
Altuve went 3 for 5 in the opener of this series. Had hits his first 3 at bats. And after the 0 for 5 last night, there's your 0 for 7. Hits it in the air, left center field, long run for Trout. He'll get there with the speed. That's out number 1, going halfway. Hose. He'll get back to first.
Ball struck pretty well. That's the thing. You can fool Altuve once. Not too many times you're going to fool him back-to-back times.
Oh, for Altuve, maybe that feeling of, yeah, I feel it, that's good now. But for Altuve, nothing's good but hits. When he gets it rolling, you can't get him. Leader in Major League Baseball in hits. And on. Jason Castro at the plate. Castro struck out looking in the first. He hits one in the gap in right center field, and nobody's getting to this one. One hop up against the wall. Here comes Hose, being waved home by Listash. And there will be no throw to the plate. The Astros have caught him at 1. RBI double Castro.
Castro swinging the bat well out of that 2-hole opening game of this series. Now here in this game, RBI double, doing a good job against left-handed pitchers also. Finding that gap, putting LJ on his horse. Easy call for Listash to send Hose home.
Double number 14 for Jason Castro. And RBI number 34.
273 off left-handed pitching this year, Castro is.
He finished up the year last year, I thought, swinging the bat well against lefties. And how would you explain for a half a season swinging the bat so much better against the lefties than against right-hand pitching?
Focus. Maybe you're working more. Not sure. I know when lefties face lefties, they got to keep that front shoulder in. You kind of almost have to alter your swing a little bit in your approach. Try and stay on the ball a little bit longer. Maybe that's what it is.
George Springer with a 1-1 count. Slammed his 17th bomb of the year last night. Hits one deep down the right field side, but slicing foul to the seats. And that might have had home run distance. Right down that right field line. Don't know what the actual measurement is. Probably 30 feet away from the pole. It's 350. Edwin Encarnacion, home run since May 8th. And you got George Springer right behind him along with Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, it's tough to tell in that angle right there, but with that, hey.
So George Springer nailed with that fastball. He'll take first base. That'll put runners at first and second with one out.
Hit him right in the wallet. You know what's fun? I'm not laughing because
oh,
he got
yes,
hit.
you are.
I'm laughing because you're in this situation right about there. You know that ball is coming right for you. You got no chance to get out of the way. And you just try and absorb it. And you can see as he took it, he's just like, oh, no. That is not a good feeling. When the ball's coming at you, you know you're going to get hit, and you get hit. It almost seems to hurt a little bit worse.
Well, you nailed it. That was right in the wallet. So Castro and Springer aboard for Matt Dominguez. Dominguez grounded out to second to end the first inning. Ground ball left side. That'll find the hole. Castro coming to third. He'll be held there by Listash as the throw comes into the plate. The bases are juiced as Matt Dominguez singles to left.
Designated hitter, number 23, Chris Carter.
Jumping on Santiago early. Getting that runner in scoring position. Not enough to drive him home, though. Bases juiced. That'll bring out the pitching coach for the Angels, Mike Butcher. We got a big man who likes to hit against the Anaheim Angels at home plate with the bases loaded, and Chris Carter.
Now Butcher having his conversation at the mound. Catcher Hank Conger there, and third baseman John McDonald as well. We're just in the third inning, tied at 1. The Astros threatening to maybe break this open a bit. They've got Chris Carter at the plate, who struck out in the second inning. One out. That double play possibility looms large in the inning, and Chris Carter no doubt trying to find a way to drive a pitch. We talked about Carter homering last night. Had himself a very nice night as he hit his 14th of the year. Quickly down in the count, 0-1. Dominguez at first, Springer at second, Castro at third. A run in. It all started as L.J. Hose lined the first Houston hit of the night into right. Jose Altuve drove the ball for the only out of the inning, that into left center field. And a 1-1 count. Bo Porter's birthday, and he wants a win tonight, as do all the guys on the club. Close pitch, but 2-1 the count.
Good job by Carter spitting on that one right there. That low and away could turn into a double play if it's hit on the ground. He's looking for something he can pummel.
Santiago in a tough spot with the 2-1 count. Bat starts. They appeal to first. Palms down, coming back.
Nice.
That's Larry Vanover down there tonight, and my view of that was
it's pretty darn close.
Carter was in jeopardy. What do you call that one? That's right to the front edge of the plate. The guy that matters, Larry Vanover, said no swing. Here's a drive, right center field. Trout going back at the wall. Grand slam, Chris Carter. That's his second on the year. And the Astros' third grand slam of the season. And the Astros take advantage here now and lead it 5-1 over the Angels.
Boom. Big man was waiting for a pitch he could hammer. Pretty impressed with the fact that he went to center field, right center field. Not trying to get too greedy, letting that ball travel.
Second career grand slam for Chris Carter. And both of those coming this year. John Singleton laces one but foul down the right field side.
Man, that's just a fastball up, out over the plate. When you're a man the size of Chris Carter and swinging a 34, 35-ounce bat, that's what you want to do, is get that arm, get those arms extended, barrel it up, drive through it, and make your manager happy.
Home run number 15 for Carter. That's second best on the club, and of course, George Springer with his 17 leading.
I love you, man.
But that's a big swing for the club.
It's good to see. There you go. There's the OPS monster we've been waiting for.
One and two the count. Astros with a 5-run inning.
Think Feldman's enjoying the time off in the dugout?
I would imagine. Don't make me sit too long. Oh, take that back. Go ahead and swing the bats, guys. Even Feldman having a smile. A lot of times the pitchers will just not engage at all. Caught looking is Singleton. That's the second out of the inning. Fourth strikeout now for Santiago. Jason Castro with a big hit in the inning. That double to drive in the first Houston run.
I think they're talking pitching or hitting right there.
Oh, I think they're talking anything but pitching.
It's good to hear.
Kike Hernandez at the plate. Drew a walk in the second inning. Out in front a bit. 0-1 the count. So with that walk, he can still look up at the scoreboard and see 500 as the batting average. And hope that mom and the rest of the family are taking note of that. 0-2 the count. Boy, Chris Carter has had a very tough time. And there have been a lot of expectations, and they have not been fulfilled, quite frankly. But every once in a while, he shows this side of things.
Really doesn't even look like he puts that much into it.
Really not much at all.
Makes it look easy driving the ball deep into the night.
1-2 pitches away. Yeah, when you see that happen with Chris Carter, the feeling that I get anyway is, you know, maybe this guy can find it. Maybe it's waiting to come out. Down on strikes is Kike Hernandez, and that'll do it for Houston. But a 5-run third inning has him on top, led by the grand slam from Chris Carter.
Moving to the bottom of the third. And hey, while you're watching, make sure to check out Astros In-Game Live on csnhouston.com, where you can follow the action like never before with enhanced Bloomberg stats and much more. Also, vote for Player of the Game. The winner will be revealed here in Astros Post-Game Live, guys.
Thanks, Julia. Scott Feldman in a new ball game now. He leads it 5-1. We go to the bottom of the third inning. 9-1-2 for the Angels. John McDonald leads it off, shows bunt, and takes a ball. That grand slam by Chris Carter, again his second of his career, and each one coming this year. The first one came on June 8th. That at Minnesota against Brian Dunsing. That also was the series and the same game that saw John Singleton hit a grand slam. Of course, the first of his career. So the Astros had 2 grand slams prior to this one, and each one coming in the same game. A ball and a strike on McDonald. And now 2-1. Third baseman Matt Dominguez drawing in on the third base side. John Singleton playing well off the bag on the first base side. John McDonald, a great defensive infielder, has skills that very few have ever even approached. He pops it up. Singleton with the play, and now number 1. Back to the top of the order with Cole Calhoun. He had an infield single in the first inning. Mike Trout then flied out to center field. Albert Pujols, after a wild pitch enabling Calhoun to get to second, Pujols singled in the run, and 3 hitters in. The Angels led it 1-0. But now the Astros have come battling back. 4 hits for Houston, 2 for the Halos. Calhoun appeared to be taking all the way. And he took a couple of strikes back in the first inning. Takes a fastball right through the chute. It's 1-1. Calhoun has walked 17 times. That's led to an on-base percentage of .342 on his year. The Astros with 4 hits and a hit batter in that 5-run inning. Pitches hit in the air, right center field, long run, and this one drops in front of Santana. Legging it into second with a double is Cole Calhoun. It comes with 1 out and brings up Mike Trout. Just perfectly placed in that gap in right center, as Springer was shaded well toward left center.
Well, that's exactly what it was, Ash. Fastball right down the middle. Fancy little bat flip, but Springer playing well into left center field. Domingo holding his ground in right field. That ball lands easily in right center field for a double for Calhoun.
You get these outfield shifts, and it leaves large gaps in certain parts of the field. Calhoun takes advantage. Mike Trout 0 for 1 on the night, hitting .312.
Doesn't leave much room for error for pitchers trying to pitch into those shifts to get those outs and increase their chances.
Yeah, agreed.
But at this level, you expect those guys to be able to make those pitches consistently.
That pitch apparently called high. It's 1-0 on Trout.
What happened? Did he blink? That pitch was pretty good, wasn't it?
Looked like it was a pretty good pitch. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire. Larry Vanover at first, Paul Noward at second, and Angel Hernandez down at third. Good breaking ball in. It's 1-1. We have mentioned the Angels, a good run scoring team. They are second best in the American League. The Oakland A's now have dropped down to right at 5 runs a game, but that leads the league. The Angels are just under 4.9 runs a game, second best, followed by the Tigers and Blue Jays. And another pitch just a bit high. So maybe Mike Trout simply laying off pitches that are up.
Well, that's tough for the Houston Astros. That's where Brent Strom wants to pitch Mike Trout. And I believe if we had a side angle of that, you could see where that ball's crossing where the numbers are, not where the letters are. I think those are pretty good pitches.
In fact, I would say those pitches are probably closer to the belt when you get a peek from the side. Pitch is fouled off the breaking ball. It's 2-2 now on Trout. Albert Pujols waits on deck. But if you're Mike Trout and you're not forced to swing at the pitch that's up in the strike zone, then it all settles right down where he likes it. See Trout shorten up on the bat there, choking up a bit. Now Trout steps back, asking for time. One out, Calhoun at second. That double by Calhoun is 12th of the year. And got him swinging. So Mike Trout, who is no stranger to the strikeout, goes down on strikes, out number 2 here in the third. It brings up Pujols.
Credit Scott Feldman, Jason Castro, Brent Strom sticking to their game plan, realizing he hit that home run last night on a pitch down. We've seen Feldman with a good breaking ball, maybe shook off that pitch to get to that high fastball to put Trout away.
3 strikeouts for Feldman. Now you've got a hot hitter in Pujols at the plate. He lined a single into right field in the first inning. That plated a run. RBI number 53 for Albert. And he hammers one to center field, going back Springer and over, and makes the catch. So George Springer with that athleticism able to make the play. That'll do it for the Angels. They get a double and strand him. It's 5-1 Astros leading. We go to the 4th inning. The Astros picking up 5 in the 3rd to take the lead, and Chris Carter with a grand slam. The Astros now with 3 grand slams on the year. Domingo Santana will lead it off, and he'll take a strike. Santana struck out in the 2nd inning, and we mentioned it at the time, but 9 strikeouts now and 11 major league at bats for Santana. To say he's having a rough start to the big leagues would be a bit of an understatement. Looking for that first knock. Has the count at 1-2. Santana with 5 strikeouts. And make that 10 out of 12 now for Santana. Start of the show, we talked about Bo Porter having his birthday today, and Julia presented him with a birthday cake. Jesse Crane also sharing this birthday. There are others.
There's old Bump Hadley on that list. A couple others. Gary Matthews, the Sarge, 1973 Rookie of the Year, had one. And Ash, you pointed this one out to me. It was RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, that's
having himself a birthday.
Yeah, I'm sure you're pleased that I brought that up. One of my faves, I know that. L.J. Hose hits it in the air, right field. To his right is Calhoun to make the catch. 2 down quickly here in the 4th inning. And back to the top with Jose Altuve.
NFL coach John McKay's birthday, too. We were talking about it in between the break. He had a pretty good quote when asked about the execution of his offense, and he said, "I'm all in favor of it."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers. That's classic.
Former coach of the USC Trojans. Student body right was what he was all about. Now, he had one of his sons, J.K. McKay, I believe, as a wide receiver for him in Tampa Bay. That's got to be a challenge. Probably as much for the receiver, the son, as it is for the head coach. 1-0 the count. Altuve now has it at 2-0. Jose has walked and flied out to left center field. Hit that ball well in the 3rd inning. But now 0 for his last 8. Hits one high in the air left. Easy for Hamilton as he comes in. And makes the play a 1-2-3 inning. Just 9 pitches needed by Santiago. 5-1 Houston.
Astros leading the Angels. This season at Minute Maid Park, every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next Friday night fireworks is July 11th after the Astros play the Boston Red Sox. Get your tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. I hear there's fireworks here tonight, guys, in case you missed them last night.
Oh, they were good last night. Were you down on the field, Julia, taking advantage?
You know what? We went to the clubhouse to get post-game sound, and I finished up quickly, running up the stairs. As soon as I walk up, over. I didn't see one firework.
Well, I hope you're able to see it tonight. They were great and very impressive from the field.
Rub it in.
The Astros, well, I will, as much as given the opportunity to. The Astros trying to do the same thing. They lead 5-1. Chris Carter with a grand slam tonight. Josh Hamilton leads off in the 4th inning. 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Halos. Hamilton grounded out to Altuve in the 1st inning. Julia needs to keep in mind she's had birthday cake today, and we haven't. 2-0 the count. The Astros with 5 runs on 4 hits. That's what a grand slam will do for you. And now 2-1. Former American League MVP Josh Hamilton and former #1 pick, that back in 1999, so it's been a while. Lifetime .340 hitter against Houston, 17 homers. Playing in his 60th game against Houston. He's had an on-base percentage against the Astros at .402. So he has been really good. Has the count at 3-2. And he's enjoyed things here at Angel Stadium this year, hitting .359. It's the breaking ball on the ground foul. Hamilton 2 for 4 in last night's game, scored a run. Took an 0 for 4 in the opener. So 2 for 9 here in the series. And he goes through on that good slider down and in. Strikeout number 4 now for Scott Feldman. First out in the 4th.
Good sharp slider, 3-2 count. Even a veteran like Josh Hamilton probably anticipating a fastball away, but gets the nasty curveball from Scott Feldman.
So Hamilton continues his struggles against right-hand pitching this year. He's torn up the lefties. Eric Ibar at the plate, stung it as he lined to center in the first inning. Shows bunt again, which he did in the first inning. 0-1 the count. He draws in Matt Dominguez in the process. George Springer playing almost in left field. He is so far swung toward left. That leaves the left fielder L.J. Hose playing probably 50 feet from the line. Breaking ball lined into right field. Solid base hit. Ibar 1 for 2 on the night. It brings up Howie Kendrick.
Pretty good professional batting. Seen a couple guys ahead of him getting that breaking ball. Stays down, keeps his head on it.
So the outfield is playing way toward left field. And Feldman drops a curveball down and in a bit. I don't know, you can't get away from throwing the breaking balls, but I think that kind of falls in the category of what you were talking about. If you want to continue to pitch and use your pitches in both sides of the plate, boy, it's tough when you've got the outfield swung around like that. Howie Kendrick 0 for 1, line to right field in the second. Four hits aside. But that big difference, Chris Carter with a grand slam. Ball shot sharply, but foul on the right side.
Man, everything Howie Kendrick has done this series is trying to go right to right field. He's hit the Astros well in the past. Did everything, middle in. And of course, over the outer third of the plate, he's going the other way.
4 for 4 last night, 2 for 4 in the opener. So he's had 6 hits already in the series. And he's bumped that average up by 12 points. 2-1 the count. Angels struck first. They got a run in the first inning. 3 hitters in. Albert Pujols lined an RBI single to right field. With the Astros picking up all 5 coming in the third. Runner goes from first, breaking ball a strike, and the throwdown not in time. It's a stolen base for Eric Ibar, as he just simply gets too good of a jump to get thrown out. His 9th stolen base in 14 tries.
Base stealing, trying to steal off the pitcher, pick something up, Scott Feldman, a big guy at 6'7", takes him a while to unfold, but also you got to maybe pick the right pitch to run on. He gets a fantastic jump, but running on that breaking ball makes it that much easier for him to get into second base.
So Ibar in scoring position, and a 2-2 count on Howie Kendrick. Despite Kendrick hitting everything to the right side, as you've talked about, Altuve is swung toward the bag at second. So that leaves a pretty big hole on the right side. Altuve darting toward the bag. And now the pitch hit on a hop right side, and it gets by Singleton into right. Here comes Ibar to the plate. No throw coming from Santana. Angels get on the board. It's now 5-2 Houston. One out with Kendrick aboard at first.
Ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going that way, Howie Kendrick says. That pitch well in on his hands, but just does a better job of staying inside it, forcing that ball the other way. Wasn't hit real hard, kind of had some funky top spin on it, made it tough for John Singleton to try to keep that ball in front of him.
But as you talk about it, still Kendrick going to the right side. I think the Astros might want to revamp that book in terms of where Kendrick goes with the ball.
Well, how crazy is that? Scott Feldman actually pitched into the shift. Howie Kendrick still beat it by going the other way.
Kendrick just continues to pound out hits. 7 now in the series, and one more game to play tomorrow afternoon. That'll be Colin McHugh going against a very tough right-hander and Garrett Richards. Richards 9-2 for the Angels, and with his stuff you wouldn't be surprised if he'd won more games than 9. Good breaking ball in for a strike. It's 1-1. Make that 0-1. Scoreboard immediately put up a ball. C.J. Cron at the plate, struck out in the second. That was the first of 4 on the night for Feldman. Cron played at first base last night as Pujols was the DH. Now it's 1-1.
Please hold. Volleyball on the field.
Out in right field, and that leaves a long run for one of the ball boys. I'm sure Blummer knows this guy.
Yeah, that's Dave from Aliso Viejo. Good toss over the fence.
Does that require
wind sprints in, huh?
That require special skills at all?
Yeah, you don't want to miss that. The crowd will chew you up if you don't get that ball out of play.
One and one the count, and now Feldman fires to first. Couple of hits, a stolen base. Angels have picked up a run.
Big Dave out there. Probably needs a breather.
Wonder if he
bring
knows
that guy a cup of water.
Wonder if he knows he's been featured on Astros baseball. I guess when you have that special skill set, you get featured a lot.
Steady diet of breaking balls for C.J. Cron. You can see that head pulling off a little bit. Not able to stay on it.
Cron born right here in Fullerton, California.
Scoreboard says that his dad, Chris, played 6 games here with the Angels in 1991.
Runner goes, the pitch. Little looper down the first base side, and it's going to drop right on that warning track.
Wow, Dave didn't even flinch. He's exhausted. Now here you go. This you know, he's pretty nimble. We got to get up. Good toss. I think he's done that before, huh? Didn't even break stride.
You think he's tired or just knows when a ball's not going to get to him?
I think he's pretty savvy and has an understanding of what he can go after. He knows his limits. Trying to hide those deep breaths he's taking, though.
Is he putting down signs? Is he
He's
possibly a sign stealer?
Gotta keep an eye on that guy.
The 1-2 from Scott, and got him swinging. Second time down on strikes for Cron, and 5 now for Feldman. That's 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Talked about how many breaking balls C.J. Cron has seen. Might have been the first fastball he's been able to get a bat anywhere near. And I'm sure it looked like it was about 105 miles an hour after seeing a steady diet of off speed. Good pitch. Another fastball elevated in the zone, too, for a strikeout.
Brings up the 8-hitter, the catcher Hank Conger. He also struck out in the second. Breaking ball hit on the ground, but a great diving play. Singleton, he'll go to the bag, and that'll do it for the Halos in the 4th inning. They get a run on 2 hits and strand a runner. We've played 4. It's 5-2 Houston. Sportsnet is brought to you by TXU Energy. Get TXU Energy free nights, free electricity all year long now with even more free hours. 1-866-CALL-TXU. Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, number of Angels very popular out here. To the 5th we go. Jason Castro will lead it off. He had a big RBI double in the 3rd inning. That produced the first run of the night for Houston. It was 1-1 at the time, but before that 3rd inning was done, Chris Carter would unload his 2nd grand slam of his career, 2nd on the season, and the 3rd for the club on the year. And the Astros took a 5-1 lead. The Angels have picked up another since. It's now a 5-2 game. 6 strikeouts already for the left-hander Santiago as he trails at 5-2. With that double in the 3rd inning, Castro hitting .222. Castro went 2 for 4 in the opener of the series and drove in a run on that night. So a couple of ribbies here in the series for Jason. Been very consistent this year, but not the way he wants to be. .224 the batting average on the road. Lines one into right center field. That's his 2nd knock of the night. He's 2 for 3. Gets it started here in the 5th.
Center fielder, number 4, George Springer.
Talked about how Castro swinging the bat well against left-handed pitchers this year. Keeping that front shoulder closed, staying through it. Bat actually stayed through the zone quite a while on that side view that we just had.
So a couple of hits against a left-hander tonight. And Castro starts the night at .273 against southpaws, just .202 against right-handers. So go figure. George Springer at the plate. Springer was robbed of a base hit in the 1st inning. It turned into a fielder's choice. He wound up stealing a bag, his 5th on the year. He's also been hit by a pitch and scored. He was aboard on the grand slam by Carter. Big swing by George. Ball and a strike. It's hard to imagine how these guys could play baseball on a night like tonight.
One good reason why they are.
Why's that?
1st and 15th.
Well, that is always good reason. But I mean,
for the love of the game.
The weather's been a little bit tough here in the series.
A little warm for your liking?
Nah. been
crazy humid for Southern California,
yeah,
right around 30-40%.
A little on that warm side and humid, no question. Yeah.
I only laugh because Houston has to live at about 70-80% during the summer.
Yeah, it might go beyond that too.
Yeah, that is very true.
2-2 the count on Springer.
Browning will be enjoying that up in Dallas.
Yeah, it's going to be seasonably quite cool, I think, in Dallas as we go in there. At least that's the hopes. Count stays at 2-2. .84 pitches now for the left-hander Santiago. Springer caught looking. So 7 strikeouts now. First out here in the 5th. That'll bring up Matt Dominguez.
Locked him up. Guessing one way. Looking for the break. There was no break.
Matt Dominguez 1 for 2 on the night. Had a single and scored on the grand slam by Carter. Shot one sharply on the ground through the left side for that base hit in the 3rd. One more tomorrow afternoon. And then 3 in Arlington with the Texas Rangers before coming back home to 3 with the Boston Red Sox. That'll lead right into the All-Star break. Well, there are some pretty hot shots coming in our general direction.
Luckily, Quiggs is ready to bounce on him and save us.
Now, we've seen him before try to make the play, so I'm suggesting you go after it.
All right. It's a good scouting report, though. I appreciate that.
It's about reality. Ball and a strike on Matty D. And now 1-2. Michael Roth is getting loose in the pen, left-hander for the Angels. And the 1-2 to Matt, lined into left field, another base hit. So Dominguez with a pair of knocks tonight. Stopping at second is Castro. 1 out for Chris Carter.
It's time for the Mako big hit of the game. And why wouldn't it be Chris Carter's grand slam? Back in that big 3rd inning for the Houston Astros. Hit by pitch, a couple of knocks, loaded him up for the big man who has big numbers against the Anaheim Angels. Got himself into a hitter's count, got a fastball up out over the plate. The big man extended the arms and put those 4 runs on the board with 1 swing of the bat.
Carter struck out and homered. And those 4 little dots mean 4 ribbies, and of course that means grand slam. No doubt a very frustrating year for Chris, but a couple of grand slams. And now 15 homers, 35 ribbies. He backs away. The pitch gets away from Conger, and that'll move the runners up 90 feet. Wow.
Cross up, or that was in a similar spot where we saw him lose the glove. Just yanked that.
If that's not a cross up, I'll just say that Hank Conger is messed up on a couple of pitches tonight. They're going to walk Carter intentionally now with first base open. That'll load him up for John Singleton.
What happened last time Chris Carter hit a grand slam in a game?
Well, I believe that was the same game that saw John Singleton hit his grand slam, so why not? All 3 grand slams by the club this year coming between these two guys. So John Singleton dashed quickly back into the dugout. I'm not sure what he went back in for. Maybe for the grand slam bat. I'm not sure.
Going to get Wonder Boy.
This is the slam in Minnesota.
And it was off a left-hander. Perkins, the closer for Minnesota.
Right. 8th inning.
Hey, we might be onto something here. It'll be extremely beneficial to Scott Feldman to be pitching with a pretty good sized lead if John Singleton can connect.
That's a pretty intriguing stat. The Astros came into play tonight with 2 grand slams. Carter and Singleton, they came on the same day, June 8th at Minnesota. And now, well, you've set it up perfectly.
Thank you, Ash.
I mean, you do it continually. I just wanted to acknowledge this glove is just going the wrong way for Hank Conger. And if those are sliders, and I can't tell from that angle, but that would be just ugly. I mean, what do you say? It's as ugly as it gets.
Sure.
Little high chopper on the first base side, and it kicks foul. Not sure if I was a pitcher, Santiago, right now, that I'd want to throw a slider on that left side of the catcher.
Yeah, it seems to be where you can beat Hank Conger's glove side.
Yeah. And if I'm Mike Scioscia, might have a planned drill session going on tomorrow. Mike's way ahead of me on that one, though. Well, he's just steady. Kind of hangs over there. Doesn't say a lot of the time, but 15 years now as the skip. Ground ball right side. That'll be handled by Pujols. He'll come to the plate for the force, and that's all they'll get. So Singleton grounds into a 3-2 force play. That leaves the bases loaded. 2 outs, though, for Kike Hernandez.
Pretty good pass. Had a good choice by Albert Pujols. Charging in to get the good hop. Take that lead runner out of the game plan.
Two hits, an intentional walk, and now the fielder's choice. Kike Hernandez has walked and struck out and takes a strike.
Kike could add to the legendary status he's acquiring by hitting a grand slam or driving in a couple more runs right here.
He fouls one off on the right side. Counted 0-2 on Kike. So a big moment. The Astros already leading 5-2. Would love to open it up here. They have already caught a glimpse of the Angels and their comeback abilities. Pitch hit on the ground sharply and gloved by Ibar. He'll feed to Kendrick and they get the force. Very nice play defensively by Ibar and Kendrick, and that'll do it. The Astros leave the bases loaded and fail to score in the 5th inning, and they lead it 5-2 over the Angels.
Whether you're treating your employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth sports team to Minute Maid Park, Astros group tickets will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group today. Ash.
Thanks a lot, Julia. 5-2 Houston. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. John McDonald, the 9-hitter, leads it off, getting a start at third tonight. Feldman to the plate and finds the strike zone. McDonald popped out to first as he led off the 3rd inning. He'll be followed by leadoff man Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout. Good curveball, and Scott Feldman has had a pretty good feel of that pitch tonight.
Really has.
Remember the last time we saw Feldman pitching here in Anaheim? It was one of those nights where it just didn't look like he had a feel of the baseball. Warming up between innings, a lot of breaking balls bouncing well in front of the plate, but looking a lot better here this evening.
His velocity was a little off that day too, it seemed like.
Yeah, that was a night where I wasn't sure if Scott was feeling okay physically, but turned out that everything was fine.
Thank goodness.
Five runs, 6 hits for Houston, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Angels. And now 1-2 on John McDonald. We're talking about Johnny Mack. Last time he came to the plate. This guy is toward the end of his career, no doubt. He's 39 years of age, but in his younger days could make some of the most unbelievable plays at shortstop you have ever dreamt of.
Talk about creativity. This guy, his main purpose in the big leagues is to take away hits.
He played behind Omar Vizquel and Robbie Alomar in Cleveland, and he learned so much from those guys. Now you can learn maybe some moves, but whether you have the physical ability to come up with those moves is another thing. But John McDonald has it, and the quickest hands you ever want to see in the game. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air, shallow into left field. LJ Ho's coming in, but it's Kike Hernandez calling and makes the play. 1 up, 1 down in the 5th. That brings up the leadoff man, Cole Calhoun. Calhoun 2 for 2 on the night, has singled and doubled. Now he's halfway to the cycle. It appears with each at bat that he's been willing to just take all the way on the first pitch. That bullpen for the Astros has been quiet throughout the evening. Fly ball left center field. That'll push Ho's back. He'll make the catch well shy of the warning track. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning as it brings up Mike Trout. Some kind of player right here. Born in Vineland, New Jersey. He was a #1 draft pick, as you would guess, for the Angels in 2009, but not where you would guess in that first round. He was 25th overall. Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate, 0-1.
Some people just don't need those 5-tool OPS monsters on their roster, you know.
Apparently. Of course, most clubs are looking for pitching in the first round, but it's hard to imagine how this guy slipped by.
It's the beauty of baseball, though.
Half swing, he fouls it back. It's 0-2. Of course, To a lesser degree, you can say the same thing about George Springer.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not like the NFL or NBA where they know a specific position that they need filled in the draft. You're trying to project in baseball, and it makes that scouting that much tougher when you're trying to figure out, if I draft this guy in 2009, when is he going to have that effect on my big league roster?
George Springer was the 11th overall pick. That in 2011. Garrett Cole went number 1, and that's a very impressive arm for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's a good pick.
But there were some early picks that kind of, at least at this point, leave you wondering. Trout stays alive on a close pitch. It's 2-2.
Good pitch by Feldman. He wanted that one.
Anthony Rendon out of Rice was the 6th overall pick, and he's looking like a terrific young player. Tell you else who went later in that draft, Jose Fernandez. 14th overall in the first round. And there's a guy you could very easily say, how come he wasn't number 1? Sonny Gray also in that first round. That was a pretty loaded crop of players. 3-2 the count.
Well, Trevor Bauer, wasn't Trevor Bauer
Yes,
in that draft too?
He was in that draft.
2 out of the first 3 picks were in the starting rotation for the UCLA Bruins.
Trevor Bauer went number 3 to the Diamondbacks. Pitch is popped up on the infield. John Singleton now called off by Altuve. He'll make the catch. A 1-2-3 fifth. So Scott Feldman breezes through the 5th inning and holds it right here. 5-2 Houston.
With a 5-2 lead over the Angels. Be sure to join us tomorrow for the final game of the series between the Astros and Angels. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet, your home of your home teams. Pitching matchup tomorrow is going to feature right-hander Colin McHugh for the Houston Astros. Pitching quite well, that low opponent batting average, low whip. But he's got a formidable task ahead of him tomorrow afternoon, going up against Garrett Richards, having himself an all-star season, 9 wins, 2 losses. His opponent batting average is quite low too, and 101 strikeouts for the young man. Electric stuff out of that right arm from Garrett Richards.
New pitcher on, left-hander for the Angels. It's Michael Roth, and just recalled from AA Arkansas prior to tonight's game. Now his major league debut. See the numbers 7-4 with a nice 2.40 ERA at AA.
Sinker, changeup, slider guy. Not going to overpower you. Yeah, pretty good numbers.
He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Domingo Santana leads it off. He is 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. 10 of 12 at bats have seen Santana come up with a strikeout. Roth with his first pitch in the big leagues as he misses outside.
And those numbers are not good for the young man, but you got to remember this kid's 21 years old, first week in the big leagues.
Well, there's a expanded outside corner maybe for the strike. It's 1-1 on Santana. Well, it's a challenge when you come to the big leagues, no doubt. But it becomes, I think, even more of a challenge once you start to struggle initially. And now a couple of strikes on him, 1 and 2.
That is the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
Everything is exaggerated when you're here playing underneath the big lights, all the exposure you're going to get. And when it snowballs bad, it snowballs big.
And down on strikes again, Santana. His 11th strikeout in 13 major league at bats. And not to give him a hard time, but it's a rather phenomenal stat.
Yeah, just waving. The only thing, I'm sure John Maley's in there working with him constantly. Just that front side for me on Domingo just seems to continually fly off. That's why every pitch you're seeing to Domingo Santana is on that outer third, if not off the plate, and he's swinging and missing. At some point, you got to step on home plate and try and hit that ball.
So Michael Roth strikes out the first man he faces in the big leagues. Has one out here in the 6th inning. LJ HOU's at the plate, 1 for 2 on his night. Had a 3rd inning single that started things. That was the 5-run inning. All culminated with a grand slam from Chris Carter. And now 1 and 2. And there's that off-speed stuff you talk about.
Roth doing a good job. Doesn't overpower. Seems like he has a pretty good idea how to pitch. I'm curious how long he's going to hang out here with the Anaheim Angels, knowing that they traded for Joe Thatcher. Left-handed pitcher, done quite well. Good situational left-hander. Coming over from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
A little drop-down changeup. Hector Santiago went 5 innings for the Halos tonight as the starter. 6 hits allowed and 5 runs all earned. 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, and allowed that 1 long ball. But that was a big one. Grand slam, Chris Carter. Fastball at just 86 miles an hour from Roth. This has to be more about deception than anything when you watch this delivery. And now the count has filled.
Action.
Yeah.
Nobody said getting outs had to be pretty.
No, and some guys have done that very well for long careers. Ground ball hit to short. High bars there. Steady shortstop makes the play. 2nd out in the 6th. With 2 down, it brings up Jose Altuve looking for that first knock of the night. Oh for his last 9. That just has not happened with the American League leader in batting average. Major League leader in hits. Good swing by Jose. It's 0-2. Altuve with just a 6-point edge over 2nd place Adrian Beltre in the batting race. Beltre has really come on like gangbusters here recently.
You really haven't heard much about it.
No.
Not getting that publicity.
He's a guy that, if you looked at the numbers, could have had a very good argument for being player of the month in June. Mike Trout won. Jose Altuve had an extremely good argument. 2-2 the count on Jose. A little looper back of second, but able to get back and make the play as Kendrick. A 1-2-3 sixth inning in the Major League debut of Michael Roth. We've played 5.5. It's 5-2 Houston. Back at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Game 3 of 4 here over the weekend. Angels have won the first 2. The Astros lead tonight as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-2. Chris Carter has had the game's big swing. A grand slam. His second on the year. Third for the club on the season. That came in a 5-run third inning. And the difference in the game, Albert Pujols will stand in. He had an RBI hit to give the Angels the early 1-0 lead. Pujols 1 for 2 on his night. Feldman still on the hill. Scott Feldman has limited the Angels to the 2 runs on 5 hits. It's Pujols, Hamilton, and Ibar here in the 6th. Two 2-0 the count. Feldman has not walked a man this evening. Pujols hitting .261 on the 2-0 as it get a little deep on him as he fouls it back. Feldman trying to get this first out here in the 6th inning. Pitch hit in the air right field. Toward the line comes Santana. He'll make the catch and out number 1. So Feldman falls behind 2-0 and comes back to get that leading out. .88 pitches now for Scott. So he could be down to his final inning. The Astros bullpen starting to move around a bit. Josh Hamilton 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 5 strikeouts on the night recorded by Feldman. Big right-hander brings it to the plate. And after that first pitch off speed, that fastball slips by a bit on Hamilton. It's 0-2. .90 pitches now. Pitch hit in the air and fairly deep in left center. Springer playing that way. Gets there for the catch. Couple of fly ball outs here in the 6th inning. 2 down for Eric Ibar. The Angels won the opener in the series. Thursday night it was a 5-2 final. The Angels came back to win it with a walk-off home run in the 9th inning by Mike Trout. Who else last night? 7-6 the final. And now the Astros trying to pick a game here. Showing bunt again is Ibar. He's done it all 3 at bats. In the process, draws in Matt Dominguez on the third base side. With the Astros being on the West Coast, most of the games get done much earlier. There's only one other game going on. The Oakland A's are hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. The A's leading it 3-1. They're in the 7th inning. And now 1-2. Waiting on deck, the second baseman, Howie Kendrick. It's Mark Burley for the Toronto Blue Jays, trailing in that game. He has allowed 10 hits over 6 innings, but still working against Scott Kazmir, who has worked 7 3-hit innings and just the 1 run against him. Quite a year for Scott Kazmir.
Encarnacion left that game in the 1st inning. Not sure what happened, but he's been replaced after 1 at bat.
That would be quite a blow for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have fallen behind Baltimore now in the American League East, a half a game. So your Orioles on top. And now 3-2 on Ibar.
You sound shocked, Ash.
No, I'm not, actually. I like the Orioles. I love their offense.
Well, I know you like the Orioles, but you're shocked because I made the call.
Well, maybe so. That may go without saying. They've got a solid defense. They're going to hit the long ball. Their pitching staff's a question mark for me.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they've got the offense to back it up, that's for sure. And Yankees, they do play great defense behind those pitchers.
Yankees are 3 games back. Count stays filled. In the American League Central, the Tigers lead by 4 over second place Kansas City. Cleveland 8 back, followed by the White Sox and Minnesota Twins. And again, it's the Oakland A's, LA Angels, and Seattle Mariners leading in the West. Mariners 6 games back in 3rd. In the National League, maybe a surprise for me. In fact, definitely a surprise. Atlanta leading in the National League East over Washington. 1.5 games at this point. Here's a line drive going to drop in right field for a base hit. It comes with 2 outs and brings up Kendrick.
Scott Feldman's throwing everything at Eric Ibar. Doesn't have an answer for him. He keeps fighting off tough pitches. Still makes a good pitch, and Ibar able to shove that one out into right field for another hit.
2 for 3 on the night for Ibar. He's also picked up a stolen base, his 9th. So we'll watch him at first base. Howie Kendrick is 1 for 2. Well, he will shoot some balls the other way, at least in this series.
Sure has.
And now Altuve adjusting at second. He's playing more straight up on that side. He had been pushed almost behind the bag at second, but Kendrick just continues to hit balls to the right side. And you wonder if it's Kendrick just responding to the defense.
Could be. Because up until this defensive positioning right now, that hole on the right side has been wide open for Howie. And he's definitely been shooting for it and been successful with it.
Kendrick hitting .285. Flares another one on the right side, and the count at 0-2. That pitch count now at a 100 mark, and so likely this is going to be the end of the line for Scott Feldman. He would love to leave after 6, leading 5-2. The Astros have a right-hander throwing in their pen. Anthony Bass, I believe. The 0-2 from Scott. Little dribbler foul. Texas Rangers were in New York with the Mets. The Rangers come out on top 5-3. Robinson Chirinos had an early 3-run homer in that game. Adrian Beltre continues to swing it. He had a bomb. And again the 0-2. The bat started. Did he go through? Palms down at first base. So Kendrick stays alive. Longtime umpire Larry Vanover with that call. It's a veteran crew. Adrian Johnson, Larry Vanover, Paul Nauert, and Angel Hernandez. Runner goes, the pitch in the dirt, and no shot for Castro. So it's the second stolen base on the night for Eric Ibar, his 10th on the year. Now in scoring position for Kendrick, who has a 2-2 count. Castro out to the hill. Little meeting down at second base. Ibar, Altuve, Hernandez, all getting together and maybe discussing hitting strokes.
Good defense. Ibar playing a pretty good short. Hernandez played a great short last night.
Yeah, I don't think we could talk enough about the way Kike Hernandez played at shortstop last night. So Feldman got ahead 0-2, and now it's 2-2. First base open. C.J. Cron is waiting on deck, but a ground ball to short. Kike handles it and fires on accurately, and that'll do it. Feldman gets through 6 and yields just a pair of runs as his Astros lead it 5-2.
We move to the top of the 7th here in Anaheim, and as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. And tonight, it's going to be from Rob and Heather. Huge Astros fans, but they live out in San Diego. So they're dressed, they've got their Sports Illustrated. Heather pregnant with her first child, and hey, guess what? I found Rob and Heather. They're right behind me sitting here, and they were here last night. You're here tonight, here tomorrow. You told me you usually get to go home and see the Astros because you're from Houston, graduated from Spring. Why don't you get to go this year?
Well, pregnant wife this year, it makes it hard. Do I want to take her to Houston to deal with that heat? I don't think so. And plus my dad, I usually go home to see my dad. He's out of town this summer, so we just called off the trip to Houston this year, and we're catching him in Anaheim instead.
Well, Well, it works out perfectly. One more question for you. You told me you got to see these Astros in the World Series in 05. You graduated in 03 and took off to San Diego for the Navy. How were you able to come back and see these guys in the World Series?
So we're down 2-0 in the 2005 World Series. My dad calls me, tells me he's got tickets to Game 3. So I write a request sheet. I try to do things right. My chain of command shoots me down, says, no way, you're going home. We need you at work. Of course, I go home anyway. I'm not going to miss the first World Series game in Texas. So I show up to the stadium. We're already up 2-0. It's the second inning. We catch a great game. It's 5-5 going to extras. Somewhere around the 10th inning, I miss my return flight home. And then, of course, my good friend Jeff Blum shatters my dreams in the top of the 14th. And next morning,
You made it back.
yeah, I made it back. I had to call my chief the next day. Hey, I'm still in Houston. I broke your rules. I get back to work eventually. I get chewed out significantly. I had some extra duty, but it was well worth it, you know. Great game to be at.
Oh, I had to get that out for Jeff Blum.
I was going to
Good
say.
story. Thanks, Ralph.
Tell him I appreciate
Back
the
to
story
you.
too, Julia.
Jason Castro leads off here in the 7th inning. Caught looking. Second time for Jason tonight. So he's 2 for 4. Out number 1. Michael Roth in that Major League debut now has picked up a couple of strikeouts. He'll face George Springer. And Blummer, I don't think any of us are going to let you live that one down anyway.
Trust me. Every time it comes up, as much as I like to talk about it and hear it, it was a bittersweet moment.
Springer with a ground ball back in the bag at third. There are the quick hands from John McDonald as he gets the out. If anybody can get rid of the ball quickly to get the speed of Springer down the line, it would be this guy.
Well, a lot of people might question, does John McDonald have the arm to play on that side of the infield? He plays a wonderful short, but the fact that he is so quick with those hands and the ball is out of his hand in a hurry.
Well, I'll say the answer to your suggestion is no, he doesn't have the arm. It's the quickness that makes up for it. He's amazing. That's 2 down quickly in the 7th inning. Matt Dominguez, the cleanup man, stands in. And Michael Roth making it look easy.
Yeah, getting back to that story that Julia had, I'm already getting hit on Twitter from Houston fans, which is...
Well, you deserve it.
Yep, they're getting after me.
Fly ball to center. That's deep as Trout goes back right at the edge of the track. He'll make the catch. 7 pitches is all it took for Michael Roth to go 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. 5-2 Houston. For the Astros, Inside the Lines is brought to you by Scotch Blue Painter's Tape. Scotch Blue, see what you can do. And we're looking at Scott Feldman with that fine start tonight of 6 innings.
Had it all working, a good mix. Hit some ground balls when he did, but that hammer right there, he said he had a good feel in it for it in his last start, continued it here. Angels hitters really didn't have an answer for it. Found that hole in Trout's swing up in the zone, able to hit his spots. C.J. Cron not having an answer for the fastball or the breaking ball with a couple of strikeouts. Scott Feldman, quality start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 punchouts, and nary a walk.
And in the process brings the ERA to the 3.86 mark with 104 pitches. So that is a good night, and now Anthony Bass takes over. Bass will face the bottom 3 spots in the order for the Angels. C.J. Cron, Hank Conger, and John McDonald due up here in the inning. Bass rubbing up the baseball behind the hill. Anthony Bass spent a good chunk of time on the DL. He's worked in just 16 games with the club. ERA right about the 4.5 mark. Cron has struck out a couple of times, those against Feldman. 0 for 2 on his night as he takes a pitch high. Bass pitched 3 days ago against Seattle. And anybody who got in against the Seattle Mariners at that time had a rough time. An inning and a third for Bass, 3 hits and an earned run against him. That was a very different Seattle Mariner hitting club. Two and 1 the count on Cron.
Yeah, I thought Kyle Seager's numbers were pretty right on par, actually. But that was shocking to me because when we saw them in Seattle, he was hovering around that 200 mark, didn't have many home runs. Then eventually in that series hit a game-winning home run against the Astros.
A waving swing on a pitch nowhere near the strike zone. It's even at 2-2. Yeah, he's picked it up, and he's a big force in the middle of that Seattle batting order. But I want to tell you, a load of left-hand hitters, and they just raked in that series.
Getting Logan Morrison back in that lineup.
So where they just got Justin Smoke back, I believe. I'm not sure if he gets in the batting order. 3-2 now as Cron leads off in the 7th. The Astros with a 5-run 3rd inning thanks to Chris Carter's grand slam. Fastball, little looper on the right side. That's going to drop for a hit. So with that infield swung around to the left side, Cron just fights it off and shoots it into right. Going to bring up the catcher spot, Hank Conger.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Good job of just fighting that ball off by C.J. Cron. That'll turn a rough night into a decent night.
1 for 3 for Cron. He's aboard. Hank Conger has struck out and grounded out. Nice play by Singleton to get him in the 4th inning. And Bass gets in front. Outfield shades a bit toward left. Shortstop Kike Hernandez moves toward the bag at second. And Matt Dominguez well off the line at third. Pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Castro to keep it in front.
Real nice job.
With that play, Castro keeps the double play as a possibility. In the on-deck circle, in that John McDonald spot now, David Freese has grabbed a bat. And the 1-1. And that's taken for a strike. So 1-2 now. Bass turns and flips to first. Scott Feldman strong in his start tonight. Hector Santiago had a rough go for the Angels. And it has the Astros on top. Trying to pick up a win. The Angels have had their way in the first couple. The 1-2 got him swinging. Good breaking ball down and in. Gets the strikeout for the first out here in the 7th. Or was that?
Been an overthrown slider, but that thing had some nasty bite down and in.
6 strikeouts now of Angels hitters. David Freese will pinch hit now for John McDonald. McDonald 0 for 2 on his night. Ten pitches already here in the inning for Anthony Bass. Starts him with the slider for a strike. A little over 40,000 on hand here this evening in Anaheim. We've had some good crowds, and they've been playing great baseball at home. Bass very deliberate, and now throws to first again. Mentioned the Rangers beat the Mets 5-3. The Giants also 5-3 winners. That at San Diego. That game in 10 innings. Baltimore Orioles picking up a win at Boston. They down the Red Sox 7-4. Pitch hit in the air, right center field and deep. Springer going back and looking up. This one's getting out. A pinch hit, 2-run home run by David Freese, and the Angels are just a run down here in the 7th. It's 5-4 Houston.
Oh, wow. Big Freese, you know he's got all kinds of pop. Haven't seen too much of it this year. 4th home run for David Freese. He loves chewing on some Astros pitching. Fastball, middle and down. Does a good job of going down and squaring this thing up, and takes some pretty good pop in your bat to go to that right center field gap.
Well, that is very impressive, and you could see with George Springer that he realized right away he was running out of room in a hurry. So a leadoff single by Crone, a strikeout of Conger, and then the pinch hitter Freese launches one to right center. And we've got a 1-run game. Back to the top now with Cole Calhoun.
Can't rest on the Angels here at home.
What is it? What is that feeling on a ball club when you just start for whatever reason to believe you're going to win, whether it's at home or on the road or just in an overall streak?
Just good times, that's all it is. Get those streaks throughout the course of a season. You ride them as long as you can.
A ball and a strike on Calhoun.
But then you see the record, 18-8 since June 6th.
That's the first career pinch hit home run for David Freese. So magical things start to happen when you're in one of those grooves, if you will.
Well, right now there's really no weak link for the Angels.
The Astros had a 5-1 lead after 3 innings. The Angels picked up a run in the 4th and now 2 here in the 7th inning. Both bullpens quiet for the moment.
And as good as you can be and as hot as you can be as a team, there's also situations like we're seeing with the Astros bullpen of late. It doesn't matter how good you are or what kind of stuff you have. If you're coming out of that Astros bullpen, it seems like they just keep running into issues.
And the Astros bullpen has had their issues. Foul ball. It's at 2-2 on Calhoun. In the American League, the Astros bullpen finds themselves right at the bottom, an ERA just under the 5 mark at 4.96. Seattle, Oakland, and Boston leading in that category. And now 3-2 on Calhoun. So Anthony Bass having a struggle here in the 7th inning. Shot, that's a base hit. So on the 3-2 pitch, Calhoun gets the fastball he's looking for. Lines it into right field. 3 hits in the inning against Bass. Still just 1 out as Mike Trout comes to the plate.
Calhoun put some good swings on the ball tonight. 3rd hit of the night with that base hit. Pitch down and away. Not a terrible pitch, but when you're going good, you can take those pitches and you can make hits out of them.
Tony Sipp, who gave up that game-winning home run last night to Mike Trout, is getting loose in the Astros pen. And now Jason Castro, no doubt out to the mound to buy some time for Sipp. Home plate umpire, that's Adrian Johnson. He'll take a stroll toward the hill, try to break this thing up and get the game moving once again. It's the big part of the Angels' order now. Trout, Pujols, Hamilton. 1-run game here in the 7th. Brett Strom is now going to come out. So Bo Porter doing everything he can to buy some time for Tony Sipp. Stromy and Castro out to the mound. It has not been an easy inning at all for Anthony Bass. And there's Tony Sipp. Can't be a lot of good memories for Sipp after last night's game. The Astros start the night at 36-52. These Angels are at 49-36. And Blummer mentioned 28-14 at home. They have been fantastic. They've been quite pedestrian on the road, 21-22. And now it's Mike Trout at the plate, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Big hero last night, hitting .310 on the year. Fastball is fouled off, and Trout, who a lot of times will come to the plate and take the first strike, aggressively right after this one.
He got away with one there. It's a good pitch to hit early on. My goodness.
See how Trout stays on the ball, though, and gets a lot of his home run power to right center field.
Tell you what, that pitch is a half an inch lower. That ball's smoked.
And now Bass throws to first again.
Getting back to all the ERA numbers, the Astros have the worst ERA in the American League at 4.90 from the 7th inning on. Oh, hey, battle of the fish.
Trout and Bass, huh? Who wins that one, generally speaking?
I'm not going to answer that one.
Sliders outside. It's 2-1. We'll make that 1-1. It's
scoreboard is quick. Yeah, Bass is trying to bait him.
Yeah. What else you got?
I don't know if Trout gets something he can hook. He might.
Yeah. It's got to be more, right? The door's wide open for you.
I'm trying, man. These wheels are turning. You can see the smoke coming out of my ears right now.
There's a little creek out in left center field. The 1-1. Well, this has been one major struggle here in the 7th inning.
The pitch was a little upstream.
Yeah. You're not going to quit there, are you?
Well, I thought we were playing pun tennis. That was volleyed right there.
Oh, you're trying to volley to me. I was just leaving it wide open for you.
It's a lot of pressure.
And a pitch out on a 2-1. So now you've got a 3-1.
Wow.
How you liking that one?
I think Bo's got a look on his face like, who called that? Clearly a pitch out. Castro popped up the pitch way off the plate. Somewhere in there, the sign's getting mixed up.
So if you're concerned about the stolen base, how do you feel now about the possible walk to put runners at first and second? The 3-1 pitch. Hit in the air and into center field. Easy for Springer, who glides under. He'll make the catch and fire back into second base, as holding at first is Calhoun. So on the 3-1, Trout flies to center. He's 0 for 4 on the night. 2 down for Albert Pujols.
Interesting at bat, but Bass beats Trout.
We'll keep that in mind for future possibilities.
Save that for the Animal Channel.
Are we on the Animal Planet tonight? Is that?
We could. If we are, I know my daughters are going to be watching.
Get a lot of that at home?
Big fans, yeah.
Yeah. Albert Pujols had a hit back in the first inning. That plated the first run of the game. Since then, he has lined to center and flied to right. I don't think he missed this one. Left center field and deep. And see ya. Fastball right through the heart of the plate. Mike Trout didn't get it done, but Albert Pujols did. 2-run bomb. The Angels take the lead now. They are on top 6-5. And we've got some extracurriculars going on the field as Pujols comes in and puts the Angels on top. Second home run in the inning for the Halos.
Albert Pujols just tied Mel Ott for 23rd place on the MLB all-time home run list with 511. Just a pumped fastball right down the middle, and maybe took notes on that Mike Trout AV where he got a first pitch fastball, just missed it, but Albert Pujols, much to the chagrin of Astro fans of years past, knows that he's not going to miss too many pitches against Astro pitching and launches this one. The Angels dugout knows what that means. When they're playing at home, they're going to take the lead.
So this bottom of the 7th inning started with the Astros leading at 5-2. We're not out of it yet. The Angels are on top 6-5.
Man, that guy, you can't get away from him if you're a Houston fan. He gets traded from St. Louis. You end up getting traded to that division. Now you got to play against him some more. It's crazy.
Bo Porter's coming out. He's pointed to the bullpen. He'll bring on left-hander Tony Sipp. But the damage is done here in the 7th inning. Anthony Bass gets a couple of outs, but he yields 4 runs in the process. We'll be right back as Sipp comes on. seventh inning. A couple of outs as Josh Hamilton would come to the plate, but he'll face the left-hander Tony Sipp, who now comes on, pitcher number 3 on the night. Scott Feldman no longer with a shot to win this one.
Great numbers by Tony Sipp, but if you were watching the game last night, you know he gave up that game-winning home run to Mike Trout. Had him in an 0-2 count, threw a great slider down, but that's where Mike Trout likes it. But still, on the season, Tony Sipp doing a great job. Opponent batting average down around 155. Just wipe that from the memory bank. Tip your cap to the man for hitting a tough pitch and go out here on a new day and try to correct things and keep your ball club in the game.
25th appearance on the year for Tony Sipp. A couple of big home runs here in the 7th inning for the Angels. David Freese is a pinch hitter, his first career pinch hit home run as he launched a bomb to right center field. That provided a couple of runs, made it a 1-run Houston lead, but then after a Cole Calhoun base hit, and out later Albert Pujols launches one to left field, and Albert didn't miss any. Pujols now with home runs in back-to-back games. Josh Hamilton is 0 for 3 on his night. And he's had some career success against Tony Sipp. So Sipp works it from the stretch as always. And the slider finds the strike zone. Well, things have changed a bit here in the 7th. Hamilton holds it back. It's a ball and a strike. Pace of this ball game has gone to a crawl here in the 7th. 1-2 now on Hamilton.
Well, a lot of that can be credited to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and how they've been hitting the baseball.
They have 4 hits, including the 2 home runs here in the inning. The 1-2.
A lot of pitches being thrown by Astros bullpen pitchers. Got a couple visits to the mound. Pitching change. Bo Porter's still looking for the right mix out of that bullpen.
It has been a long half of an inning. Cleveland a winner today against Kansas City, 7-3 the final. The Dodgers fall at Colorado 8-7. Think about what Clayton Kershaw is doing to the National League. I guess he's turned into the man around Major League Baseball.
He's really good. He's making it look easy too.
Who do you like now in that National League West, the Dodgers or the Giants?
I can't make a pick right now. I like what they're both doing.
Giants have had a big skid, but that happens. Dan Herron coughed it up for the Dodgers tonight. 8 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. The 3-2 pitch. And a 2-out walk to Hamilton. So Sipp comes on and walks the left-handed batter and now faces the switch hitter Eric Ibar. Kershaw.
There's a shock to see him at the top of that list. 7-0, a .69 in his last 7 starts. Okay, moving on. Alfredo Simon leading the National League with 11 wins. Houston Street, he's on the trading block from what I hear. A lot of people on Twitter and a lot of analysts saying that he could be a nice pickup. He's converted 23 straight saves for the San Diego Padres. New York Yankees are going to need to fill a hole with CC Sabathia going down.
I think Joe Girardi was quoted something like, it's safe to say that CC's done for the year. Still 2 outs. Ibar at the plate, and things were moving too quickly, so everybody steps off. Ibar, not a big guy, but has 6 home runs. And so to keep things consistent, Ibar for the 4th time tonight shows bunt and takes the ball.
Almost makes you wonder if he had a running bet with somebody in the dugout.
I'm gonna bluff a bunt every first pitch tonight. He's won his bet if that's the case. He's the 8th hitter of the inning. And now 2-0 the count. Anthony Bass came on to start the inning with a 5-2 Houston lead. Angels about hit Houston 10-6. Runner goes from first. The pitch is fouled back. So Hamilton on the move. And on the 2-0, an aggressive swing by Eric Ibar.
Little run and hit situation there. Hamilton's still run pretty good. Going first move on the left-hander Sip. And like you said, Ash, pretty good pass by Ibar.
Of course, there's no way with 2 outs that Mike Scioscia would put on a hit and run, but yeah, if Ibar knows the runner's on the move, swing the bat.
Hit a gap right there. It's easy for Hamilton to score. Takes it for a ball. He might have a chance at a stolen base.
Off speed, it's 2-2. Carlos Corporon caught last night's game. Got himself in a beef with the home plate umpire, and eventually maybe a little bit of a beef in the dugout. And now a throw to first base. Eric Ibar 2 for 3 on the night, hitting .277. And he fouls it back. Pittsburgh down the Philadelphia Phillies 3-2. Pittsburgh Pirates just kind of steadily going about business. They're now 46-41, and they may still be heard from in that National League Central. The Brewers have led right from the start. They have a 4-game lead over St. Louis. The 2-2 from Sip, and now 3-2. The Chicago Cubs trade away their first and third starters out of their rotation yesterday, sending them to the Oakland A's. And now the Cubs get busted today in Washington, D.C. 13-0. The Nats win it. And you wonder what the rest of the year might be like for the Cubbies. Sip with the 3-2. Just reaching out and poking at foul as Ibar. So we'll do it again.
If you're on a ball club that's struggling already and then you trade away your 2 best pitchers in your rotation, it sends a pretty clear message to everybody else on that roster.
Yeah, not a good one either. Gio Gonzalez got the win in that. 8 shutout innings. That Washington club on paper to me looks like they should be ahead of Atlanta and everybody else. And now a throw to first base. Back in standing is Hamilton.
Yeah, plenty of season left in that National League East. Seems like the Braves and Nationals just seesawing back and forth and between first and second place.
Three-two pitch. Runner goes. It's fouled off. Ibar nodding his head and probably got word. A lot of times hitters will ask the home plate umpire, did I swing at a strike? So Ibar gets back in the box almost. And now in there. Hamilton on the move. The 3-2 again fouled off. A nice catch by one of the fans up here on our right.
Seen that section get peppered quite a bit in this series. Eric Ibar having himself a solid at bat. Josh Hamilton getting the wind sprints in.
40 pitches here in this half inning. Once again, the 3-2 hit in the air left center field, and nobody is there. Springer playing toward right center. Here comes Hamilton dashing to the plate. He will make it without a throw. The Angels add another and lead it 7-5. RBI double Eric Ibar. And will now send their 9th hitter of the inning to the plate.
That's just a heck of an at-bat by Eric Ibar. Now 43 RBIs. Again, leading all shortstops in the American League. Another decent pitch. Just a better job of hitting by Ibar. Shoots that gap, and with Josh Hamilton on the move and that 3-2 count with 2 outs, scores easily. Still got some speed left in those legs. Not a good inning for the Houston Astros bullpen. Scott Feldman pitched extremely well getting to the spot, but now the bullpen is just giving it up.
And now Brent Strom is going to come out to the mound. We will take a little extra time here in the 7th. The Astros outfield has been playing more and more in some shift-like scenarios, and it's leaving some large gaps, and this was another one taken advantage of here by the Angels. Strami out there talking things over with his left-hander. 11 hits now for the Angels as they have the lead.
Kids can join all the Astros fun this season with an Astros Buddies Kids Club membership. Catch all the baseball action plus exclusive experiences and prizes throughout the season. Visit Astros.com/buddies to register today.
In the bullpen for Houston, right-hander Josh Zeid now gets loose.
And he's just getting loose.
And that's all this meeting in reality is about from Brent Strom. Just trying to buy time. Angels have a right-hander loosening in their pen. But now the Angels have turned things abruptly around here in the 7th. And they're going to intentionally walk Howie Kendrick. He's the 9th hitter of the inning. And that'll bring up the guy who got it all started. C.J. Cron had a base hit innocently to start the inning against Anthony Bass. But it has fully blossomed for the Halos. One more game coming up tomorrow afternoon. Colin McHugh goes against Garrett Richards. That's a 2:35 start. And there's ball 4. So Kendrick heads on down to first base. Runners at first and second. Time of possession, 36 minutes in this half inning. And so apparently that handoff and runoff tackle ploy is working for the Halos.
I tell you what,
And
the
now
Astros are going to have to talk to their defensive coordinator.
we're going to extend things a bit here as Bo Porter comes out to the mound. He's going to bring on the right-hander Josh Zeid, who will face C.J. Cron. And that'll do it for Tony Sipp as we break it here in the 7th. Put 5 on the board, matching what the Astros did in the 5th inning. It's a 7-5 Angels lead. Chris Carter had a grand slam in that 5-run 3rd inning. Carter's 2nd grand slam of the year. Anthony Bass comes on here for the 7th, allows a couple of home runs. The Angels take the lead. Of course, Albert Pujols adding his 50th career home run against Houston. That was a big 2-run bomb. That gave the Angels the lead. David Freese had the pinch hit bomb in the inning. So the Angels now bring their 10th man of the inning to the plate, C.J. Cron. And he will face the right-hander Josh Zeid.
There's everyday Zeid, 19th appearance on the season. Allowed 5 home runs in those 17 innings pitched, but also has 14 Ks in those 17 innings.
That slider takes a great play by Castro to keep the ball there in that home plate area. Feldman, Bass, Sipp, and Zeid, and the latter 3 all here in the 7th inning.
Zeid pitched last night, going an inning, giving up a hit, an earned run, had 1 strikeout.
The Astros used 5 pitchers last night. Brett Oberholzer really ate up some innings in his start in the opener here in the series, and at the time saved the bullpen a bit. Jose Veras was the only member of the pen to come in that game. Two 2-0 the count. Reaching out and fouling it off is Cron. Cron 1 for 3 on the night. Came to the plate here in the 7th inning to start things, having struck out in his only 2 at-bats on the evening. But quite a turnaround with that base hit.
3 2-out RBIs in this inning for the Angels.
Pitch hit in the air in deep left center field. Watch this one at the wall. This is a 3-run jack. And the Angels extend the lead now. They are on top of the Astros 10-5. The 3rd home run of the inning for the Angels.
They had 3 more 2-out RBIs to that on the C.J. Cron bomb. My goodness. That is just center cut heat, barreled up, and C.J. Cron knew it.
So David Freese is a pinch hitter, Albert Pujols, and now C.J. Cron with long balls in this 7th inning. 11th hitter, Hank Conger. He struck out. That was the first out in the 7th inning. And Conger 0 for 3 on his night. It's a ball and a strike on Conger.
That is a snowman from the bottom of the 7th inning for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
In golf, not so good on your card. In baseball, turns things around rather quickly.
Well, C.J. Cron basically kicked a field goal for the L.A. Rams against the Houston Oilers.
Love you, Blue. Conger gets a piece and fouls it back. 2-2 the count. Josh Zide brings the 2-2 and misses. That'll fill it. And a lot of full counts. The Astros pitchers just unable to get ahead and stay there. And again, this Astros bullpen starts the night dead last in ERA in the American League, and no doubt after this 7th inning, the team ERA for the bullpen up over the 5 mark. A 2-out walk to Conger. That'll bring up David Freese. That's 55 pitches for the bullpen here in the inning. So that grand slam by Chris Carter way back early in the ball game, 3rd inning. He's not having any impact now.
It's an afterthought. Bit of a buzzkill for that guy.
David Freese came on to pinch hit for John McDonald here in the 7th inning and launched one. And that made a 5-2 game suddenly 5-4. And little did we know that much more was to come. Conger leads from first. And the pitch fouled back in a big swing by Freese. Mentioned last night that David Freese, still a young player, has 7 lifetime postseason home runs.
Played a lot of positions in my life, Ash.
Yeah.
And I've played in a lot of games where there were blowouts. I wonder if Kike's out there at shortstop going, hey man, put me on the bump.
Well, you know you're getting drubbed when that happens.
I think he can pitch. He's done everything else pretty darn good.
He is not caught and he hasn't pitched, so maybe you're right. 45 minutes here in this half inning. What if that ever happened with Greg Maddux?
He'd have a quality start after 45 minutes.
Wow, this is amazing. 2-1 pitch. Taken for a strike. Some of the 40,000 plus umpires here at Angel Stadium didn't like that call.
Even Adrian's getting tired back there.
Should be. The 2-2. And that misses.
Pretty good take by Freese.
That is.
Angel hitters are seeing the ball great. But how about the explosions they've had in some of these innings in this series? Had a big one in that first game against Brett Oberholzer. And last night was just an absolute fireworks show through the middle part of that game. The finishing touch put on by Mike Trout.
3-2 once again. Runner on the move. And the pitch is fouled off. Who has not had a 3-2 count here in the inning?
Me.
I think you have. Since Mike Trout flied out to center field for the second out of the inning, it has been 30 minutes. That starts with the Pujols home run. And ball 4. Back-to-back walks of Conger and David Freese. So Zide has come on and yielded a home run, a 3-run job to Crone, and then back-to-back walks. Brett Strom is going to come out to the mound and talk things over.
This isn't a stall tactic. There's nobody getting loose in the Houston Astros bullpen. This is just, we need to find something, son. You need to get this ball over the plate, try and find a way to work on those edges. There's some guys dreading a phone call right there.
Yep. Safe to say that I don't think Chad Qualls is going to get a call tonight.
Brent Strom, God bless him for going out there and trying to keep this thing together and encourage these guys to continue to move on. He's got all the knowledge in there. He's just trying to relay it to these kids and hope that they have the ability to execute it. But you're starting to get back into that meat of the lineup here for the Los Angeles Angels.
Pitch runner now for the Angels at first base. It is Grant Green. He takes over for David Freese. And Green will come in and play at third base defensively. First pitch from Zide misses up and away. 1-0 the count. You see an end to this thing?
I hope so. It's amazing how hard it can be to get a third out in an inning.
That seemed to take a lot of consideration on your part.
Well, I'm trying to. We know who we work for, and we know we're trying to be positive, and encourage these kids, and try not to make it worse than it is by just piling on. But this has not been pretty by any means.
13th
and I want to see it end.
Yeah, well, I do as well. There's no question. It's 3-0 now on Cole Calhoun.
I mean, there's egos out here being destroyed. Zide is not happy with himself falling 3-0 to Calhoun.
Strike one taken by Calhoun.
Still got 2 innings to play.
Yeah. Batting practice may not take place tomorrow. There's a strike called. It's 3-2. So Calhoun, with a 10-5 lead, takes a couple of strikes here in the 7th inning. Calhoun is 3 for 4 on his night.
You can't fault the Angels for taking pitches. They usually wait around. They're patient enough. They eventually get a pitch they can drive.
Runners go. The pitch is fouled off. Tampa Bay a winner at Detroit tonight. 7-2 the final there. Tampa Bay Rays starting to make some noise. That's their 40th win of the year. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt, and the ball gets away from Castro, and everybody's going to be safe. It'll be a strikeout and a wild pitch. Into third base is Conger. Grant Green in at second. And that'll bring up Mike Trout with the bases loaded.
Well, now you've got the baseball gods working against you, too. Things don't happen like this on a normal evening. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, for those that know Murphy's Law.
Well, it's been a long night for Mike Trout. 0 for 4 on the night with a strikeout. Trout flied to center field in this inning. 14th hitter of the inning, and takes a slider for a strike.
This is pretty incredible, Ash. We've played a lot of baseball. You've called a lot of baseball and played it. But this is a little mind-blowing.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a half inning quite this lengthy. 0-2 now on Trout. Maybe this many hitters coming to the plate.
Yeah, I've seen this many hitters, but I mean, these are some of the situations. The 3-2 counts, the amount of pitches thrown, the amount of time it's taken to play this half inning. Going to be driving those guys at Elias and Bloomberg nuts, trying to find games that match up with this inning.
Fastball's high on the 0-2.
That was a 73rd pitch this inning.
Is that possible?
72nd pitch. I apologize. I exaggerated.
And now Trout steps out. Left-hander Darren Downs getting loose in the Astros pen. The 1-2. Line but foul down the right field side. Bring your glove, you might make a play.
Pretty nice grab by the Titan. I think he's got a Cal State Fullerton hat on. Everybody making plays out here.
Got some Cal State Fullerton guns, too.
Good phys ed program out there.
The 1-2. Got him swinging. Mike Trout down on strikes. Trout with an 0 for 5. 55 minutes to get it done in the 7th inning. The Angels put 8 on the board as they homer 3 times, and they leave 3. We played 7, 10-5 Angels.
To you by Miller Lite. And it is the blast from Albert Pujols in that last inning for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Putting a fastball right down the middle. And did something he's done 510 times before that, tying Mel Ott with that home run. Creeping up that home run, all-time home run list for Albert Pujols. Big night for him that led to an even bigger inning for the Angels. And there's that list we're looking at. Tied Mel Ott with that 511th home run. Looking at Ernie Banks ahead of him. Kevin Jepson now on for the Angels. 41st appearance, 2.38 ERA, whip around 1. 34 innings and 42 strikeouts.
And just 21 hits allowed in those 34 innings.
Oh man, the right-hander's only hitting a .125 against him.
He's had a terrific year out of the bullpen for the Angels. He'll try to work it here in the 8th inning. It'll be Carter, Singleton, and Kike Hernandez. Carter had the big swing of the game. That came in the 3rd inning, a grand slam. But the Angels have erased those heroics.
That was back on July 1st, I thought. What feels like July 1st.
Well have been.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That was a tough 7th inning. And all on the bullpen. Up until then, 6 quality innings. As Scott Feldman pitched well this evening. It's 1-2 now on Carter. Michael Roth got his major league debut in this game. Left-handed pitcher and kind of a soft tosser for the Angels. But he's got a chance to pick up that first major league win tonight, huh?
Is that not amazing to think about?
Got him swinging. Pitch under the knees at 96. Carter down on strikes. Second time for Chris tonight. Out number 1 as John Singleton comes to the plate. Singleton 0 for 3. One of those a big one. That came in the 5th inning. The Astros had the bases loaded and 1 out. Singleton came to the plate and hit one on the ground to first base. Pujols fired to the plate. They got the force out, and eventually Kike Hernandez grounded into a fielder's choice. The Astros failed to score in that inning. They were trying to extend their lead, which at the time was 5-2. Big swing by John. That backlash from the swing getting a piece of Conger. Ball and a strike on Singleton. Oh, that fastball is a good one.
Yeah, no reason to mess around for Jepson.
You get a glimpse at why he has 42 strikeouts coming in 34 innings. He's added 1 to that figure. Pretty good getting a piece on that high heater.
That just blew out a monitor next to the radio booth. That was exciting.
Count still at 1-2 on Singleton.
Just be icing on the cake for us, wouldn't it, Ash, if you just chested up right now?
Slider got him. Well, that's filth after 96-mile-an-hour heaters. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. 2 down. Kike Hernandez comes to the plate. Wow. Kike 0 for 2 on the night. He has drawn a walk. Seeing that batting average drop to .429. Probably still get your sleep fairly well at .429.
I'd say so.
A ball and a strike on Kike. You're going to get challenged with that fastball. Kevin Jepsen was born right here in Anaheim. Second round pickup by the Angels in 2002, so he's been around, but still bringing it. The 1-1. Now 1-2 on Kike. Hernandez getting a second consecutive start at shortstop, and he earned it with last night's performance. He was absolutely stellar. Nice job by Hernandez to lay off this slider. Jepsen just under a strikeout an inning over the course of his career, but he is bringing those numbers in his favor as he works it this year. That's a tough one to lay off. 3-2.
Kike still going about his business, having a pretty good at bat considering all that's happened in this ball game. And I mean, granted, there were 74 pitches. It was a marathon inning. It's only 5 runs. Still got a couple innings left. Got to battle it out.
Ground ball hit to short. Ibar is there. He'll throw on to first. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 8th inning. Turned in by Kevin Jepsen. The Angels lead it 10-5.
Angels. Hey, can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Guys.
Thank you, Julia. We go to the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th. Darren Downs, the left-hander, comes on now. Pitcher number 5 for Houston. He will face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Pujols, Hamilton, and Ibar.
First baseman, number 5,
Just about dead even. Left-hand hitters, right-hand hitters against Downs. 4.05 that ERA. Albert Pujols, a big swing in this game. With the Angels down a run in that 8-run 7th inning, Pujols came to the plate and slammed his 19th home run of the year. And that gave the Angels at that point a 6-5 lead. And the Angels were not done yet. They wound up with an 8-run 7th inning and lead 10-5. Downs misses on the first pitch. And now misses badly up and away. 2-0 the count. And getting behind on good hitters and allowing them to stay in counts until you get a pitch that you can easily look for. Part of what the good offensive teams do. Pitch is hit in the air, right center field, long run. Springer, he won't get there. One hop up against the wall. Pujols with a stand-up double to start this 8th inning. His 3rd hit of the night. So Albert Pujols suddenly has gotten hot. And that was an all-out effort by George Springer.
Can hit. And the way things are going tonight for Houston Astros pitching is just par for the course. George Springer doing everything he can to try and track that ball down.
Springer, or rather Pujols, had 3 hits in last night's game, 3 more tonight. And now Josh Hamilton at the plate, 0 for 3 with a walk. That walk came as he batted in the 7th inning. Came around and scored run number 7. Ball and a strike on Hamilton. 13 hits for the Halos, and they have been piling on the hits the last couple of games. Ball and 2 strikes on Hamilton. The Angels had 16 hits in last night's game, just 9 in the opener, as Hamilton waves through 1. Down on strikes, 8 strikeouts of Angels hitters. Out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Now Eric Ibar will come to the plate. With a 10-5 lead and Matt Dominguez playing deep at 3rd. Any chance that Ibar bluffs bunt again here?
Depends on what's on for that bet that he had going with whoever it was in there to fake bunt, but I sure hope he doesn't.
He does not. He's 3 for 4 on the night.
Good veteran move.
Bluffed to bunt his first 4 plate appearances.
Do you realize that everybody in the Angel lineup has gotten on base except for one guy?
That would be Mr. Hero from last night.
How about that?
Mike Trout 0 for 5, a couple of strikeouts. Mercifully ended that 7th inning with a strikeout.
Made 2 outs in 1 inning.
Ground ball hit to short. Coming on, Kike Hernandez on the run will make the play. Second out here in the 8th inning. Moving into 3rd is Pujols. It'll bring up Howie Kendrick. Well, it's been a long night, and the Astros not enjoying things a whole lot right now, trailing 10-5. Jeff Blum just continues to study. It's what he's all about.
Say that's borderline fake study and fake falling asleep, but there's a lot going on. My scorecard is just going nuts right now with all the numbers I'm trying to write into this thing and erase and put back on there. But that was a good time hanging out up in this booth here in Anaheim, though.
Hot shot, and ball gets by Altuve into right field. It'll be an RBI base hit for Howie Kendrick. It's now 11-5. These Angels on top of the Astros. And for Howie Kendrick, his 2nd hit of the night.
Again, going to that right side of the field where hits have been aplenty for him.
Time after time going that way.
That ball smoked. Altuve does the best he can, but that ball hit well from Howie Kendrick. He's in the right spot, just sometimes tough to play that in between hop when it's hit as hard as it was. And these guys on defense, they're trying to do everything they possibly can to end these innings. It's just not happening tonight. Another 2-out RBI.
Second ribby of the night for Howie Kendrick, who now has 38 on the year. I wonder if you put 3 infielders on the right side on Howie Kendrick, if he would just simply turn and try to hit the ball to the left side.
I'm sure he would. Seems like he's a good enough hitter.
Ground ball hit to short. Kike Hernandez will make the play on to Altuve. That's the force out. That does it for the Angels. They pick up another run on a couple of hits and strand a runner. It's 11-5. The Angels lead after 8. Sportsnet is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. We move to the 9th inning here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 11-5 the Angels lead. They've out hit the Astros 14-6. Maybe that's the problem.
I think I saw a couple of home runs ricochet off that thing tonight.
Is that moon closing in on us, or is that just the
sky
impression
is
we're
falling.
getting? Jason Grilli, right-hander, comes on to work the 9th inning for the Angels. He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 spots. And now the Astros will go to the bench as Marwin Gonzalez grabs a bat and pinch hits for Domingo Santana. Jason Grilli pitching well now since coming over from the Pirates, and well, he could be quite a boon to this bullpen for the Angels, and they've got some good arms out there.
Had great success last year for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Which is popped up on the left side. Green comes over and runs out of room.
Stay tuned for Astros postgame live presented by Jack in the Box.
Marwin Gonzalez hitting .279. He's had recent success with the bat, but right now he finds himself playing behind a juggernaut. That's Kike Hernandez. Here's a ball hit on the ground right side. Pujols will back and take it on a second hop. Feed on to Grilli, and out number 1. And now another pinch hitter as Alex Presley grabs the bat. He'll bat for L.J. Hose. So Alex Presley coming to the plate. The Astros had a 5-1 lead in this game. The Angels put up some kind of inning in the 7th, 8 runs, adding one more in the 8th, and have this 11-5 lead. That's a little bit of a tough pitch to deal with.
It's like he threw a hand grenade in there. Everybody bailing out of the way.
Chopper foul back to the screen. A ball and a strike. Presley hitting .244. Albert Pujols, a big night tonight offensively. 19th home run of the year, 3 hits on the night. Single, double, and home run for Sir Albert. Kike Hernandez has taken an 0 for tonight. Line drive base hit for Alex Presley. So he comes on as a pinch hitter and gets himself a knock. It comes with 1 out and brings up Jose Altuve.
Second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve.
A quiet night for Altuve, 0 for 3 with a walk.
What Alex Presley deserves the right to put a smile on his face. That's not easy to do. Sit out in that dugout, grind it out, watching your team get pummeled, and then go up there and smash a base hit up the middle off Jason Grilli.
7th hit of the night for Houston. Altuve takes a strike. With the 0 for 3 night, Jose now hitting .339. Hits it in the air right field, but right there is Calhoun to make the catch. So Jose Altuve with an 0 for 4 night tonight. And with 2 down now, it's in the hands of Jason Castro.
Number 15, Jason Castro.
Castro trying to give George Springer a chance to come to the plate. Pujols playing well behind Presley as that pitch is inside. At the moment, it would appear that Altuve has a 4-point lead in the batting race over Adrian Beltre. Good slider for a strike, 1-1. And that might get shaved by a point or so with the fly out to right field. Castro hits it sharply and past the diving third baseman. That's Green at third now. Solid base hit for Jason Castro, his 3rd of the night. So 3 for 5 for Jason, and hit number 8 for Houston. And it does give George Springer a chance.
Got to be selfish in these situations sometimes. Get late in games. Don't want to give in, give away at bats. Keep grinding, keep battling, salvage. You get that 3rd hit, the average jumps. Have something to look forward to going into tomorrow. It's okay to get greedy in that box sometimes.
Castro with 2 singles and a double. And now George Springer, 0 for 3. He's been hit by a pitch and scored a run. He's also picked up a stolen base after reaching on a fielder's choice. But the Astros could use some big swings right about now. Springer pulling off that slider. It's 0-2. Down to a strike, and a lot of the fans here in Anaheim coming to their feet. They're looking to see the Halos win a 9th consecutive home game. Trying to make it 15 out of 16 here at home. And the slider, the bat starts. He goes through, the tag applied, and that'll do it. Springer down on strikes. The Astros get a couple of hits and leave them in the 9th inning as the Angels pound away and win it here in Game 3, 11-5, making it 3 straight on the series. And the Astros now down to 1 more shot with tomorrow afternoon's game. That final this evening, 11-5. The Angels win it. We'll be back with more.